Keep it gay, keep it light, keep it fresh, keep it fair. Let it bloom every night. Give it room.
Never stand still.
Keep your love a lovely dream and never wake it. Come on, Mike. Keep it gay, keep it gay, keep it gay. Keep it gay, keep it gay, keep it gay.
Good evening and welcome to another virtual celebration brought to you by your friends here at, now say it with me, GIS in Space. Tonight, we're getting a double dose of the Doctors. From Star Trek Enterprise, John Billingsley is with us. And from Star Trek Voyager, Robert PICARDO. Plus, a musical performance by fan favorite band, 5 Year Mission. And now please, welcome your host, Captain Dan Deavy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. As you can see, or hear, rather, our voiceover artist, Mike Sargent of WBAI Radio, is really enjoying recording these for us, and he just promoted me to captain in that, and he added a little photon torpedo. I love when, he makes it his own.
You are an ensign, correct? You're an ensign, is that correct? Your actual...
That is my, yes.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah,
a sub ensign, I think. Didn't you get demoted from full ensign to sub ensign?
Let's be honest. I think they just fired me. I don't.
Yeah, I think so.
No.
I think so.
No.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see, everyone, we are already joined by Mr. John Billingsley of Star Trek Enterprise, Dr. Phlox. Thank you for being with us, sir.
I was actually introduced a few minutes ago. This is now my second introduction.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's quite all right. It's quite all right. We could just do this all night. Just keep introducing.
We never get tired of introducing you, John.
Bob Picardo, by the way, was supposed to be on with me, but apparently he was afraid that I might outshine his ass.
You are already.
You're already doing it. It's great.
So he has decided that he's going to wait until I have left, and then he will join.
He's not getting two intros, so you're unique. Just know that.
Yeah, exactly. And now let me please just introduce the rest of our Gaze in Space team that we have here tonight. Walt is going to be taking care of bringing people in and out of the chat so that you can ask your questions on video. Kira will be reading the text questions that you submit in the Q&A box. The first gentleman of Gaze in Space, Mr. Richard Hart, is going to take responsibility for anything that goes wrong. And my...
Already nailing it, babe.
Yeah. Amazing co-host is joining me tonight. Amy Imhoff, thank you so much for being with us. Fresh off the heels.
Fellow nutmegger. A fellow nutmegger.
Yes, a fellow nutmegger. That is the state of Connecticut, and for those who are not in the know. The nutmeg state.
What?
So, John, tell us, how are you guys adapting to this continuing self-isolation COVID situation? I mean, I tend to think you getting to be at home all the time is great for you because you get to spend your time with Bonnie. But now Bonnie's got you home all the time. How's she dealing with that?
In point of fact, we are both working our fucking asses off. So I am the president of the board of an organization called the Hollywood Food Coalition, which I believe you very generously are making a contribution on that organization's behalf tonight, and I thank you so much. And we rescue and serve meals to approximately 300 people who are living on the streets 7 nights a week, a 5-course meal, which we've now had to figure out how to give people to go. That was a challenge. Additionally, we rescue food and we share it with approximately 40 other not-for-profits in and around Los Angeles. So we have grown quite a bit in the last few years, from 100,000 to close to $1 million organization, which is terrific, but it involves staff increases and policies and procedures and all sorts of crap that it's like,
Sounds like a lot of paperwork.
It's bizarre because what COVID has done, of course, is it's revealed how much food insecurity exists in this country. 1 out of 5. I will stop being serious soon, but since you asked me a serious question, I'll give you a serious answer. 1 in 5 American kids wakes up food insecure, which means that they're not sure if they're going to eat that day, where they're going to eat, what they're going to eat, will they have enough food? It's going to get a hell of a fucking lot worse now. So a lot of people are waking up to that problem. They should have been woken up to it before. It's meant that, fortunately, a number of charitable organizations, foundations, and individuals are donating money. So we've been able to grow and build and try and respond to the need, but be careful what you wish for, because we now have to grow and and build and respond to the need, and it is a lot of work. So Bonnie is helping to run our new space, which we call the Hub, which is where food lands. It's culled, sorted, packed, processed, and shipped all around town. And I sit at this desk, and I do more administrative work than I ever thought I would do in my life. So I'm fucking busy. And when I'm not doing this, I read and I eat. I eat a lot of ice cream and gin. I drink a lot of gin. I eat a lot of ice cream. And
I just want
Seems like a common thing we're all doing in quarantine.
I
Eating and
sorry.
drinking.
ask. Oh, sorry, Rich. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to jump in real quick. I just wanted to really stress. Actually, we went to one of John's meetings, basically, on this and learning more about the organization. And what is so great is that I think people are really waking up to how important these anti-poverty initiatives are. For really kind of fundamental human rights. And, we as an LGBT organization really care about these issues too, because not only, this issue is universal, so everyone should care about it, but the LGBT community itself really does face a lot of homelessness problems, especially from being displaced. And so this work is so great. And what's so great is that it can be done actually with very little investment of capital if you want to participate. So we love to hear more about it.
I will stop me, because I can go on and on and on, and I know there are other things that people want to talk about, but just FYI, if you're in the Los Angeles area, we need volunteers every day to come cook, volunteers to come serve. There are all sorts of ways you can get involved. One of those ways is to do a food drive yourself, which is really easy and fun to do, because you can socially distance and still wave at your pals. Get a group of people together to get one bag of groceries, devote a day, go pick up all the bags and drop them off to us. Perishables, canned goods, what have you. It's a great, fun way to feel like you're giving back. We have a program, 650 families participate in making amazing sack lunches. We now are giving away between 3,000 and 4,000 sack lunches every Sunday to 20 groups who fan out all over the city and hand them out at encampments and whatever. And Richard is absolutely right. This is a social justice issue. The nature of the way America built a rudimentary social safety net was through the progressive movement founded in the cities, in and around the cities, in the 19th and early 20th century. It's what Roosevelt built the New Deal around. And unfortunately, given the fascistic and deeply conservative strain of national politics, it's going to be up to people in cities to rebuild that tattered social safety net all over again. So whatever it is that animates you, I'm a great believer in getting involved in your community. And now I will start being flip and facetious the way you like it.
Well, but before you do that, I do have one question also about the charity. One of the things that I found so interesting about it was the idea that you guys would go to the sets of the different studios, because anyone who knows anything about Hollywood, craft service has so many leftovers that just get wasted and thrown away, but you guys recover them. How has the fact that no one's filming changed the organization?
Well, the good news is, because we have grown a lot in the last 4 or so years, there are a number of different levers we can pull to try and rescue food. That was a blow. We also picked up food from businesses that had large catered lunches. We were picking up Tinder, and that was hundreds of pounds of food a day. Law firms, commercial production houses, lots of tech companies. It was we had a group called the Pickup Artists, and the Pickup Artists consisted of about 40 to 50 people who volunteer, and we would send out text messages. And when I say we, I mean the missus, because that was largely her program. And she would essentially operate like a taxi cab dispatcher and send people all over the city. And we got to the point where the studios and the Paramount, NBC, ABC, Fox, they had multiple refrigerators on their lots. So the caterers would actually put the leftovers in the refrigerator. So we didn't have to tie our pickups to the meal hours. We could actually schedule them at our convenience. And that program, it's devastating to me that I don't know if that can continue, because I thought we were a year away from being able to bring all the studios together to create that program writ large. The studios are doing a pretty good job at trying to green up, and I thought that was going to be a really integral part of the program. And now food is going to be pre-packaged and delivered individually. I don't know quite how leftovers are going to work. It's going to be a brave new world. Yeah, it's a really cool organization, and very dear to my heart. And I've always kind of liked being involved in community service and community organizations. I started out making a fruit salad, and now I'm the fucking president of the board. So who says America? It's America. You know, you can dream. You can dream big.
You know,
I'm getting paid exactly the same thing I got for making the fruit salad that I am getting paid for being the president of the board. I'll tell you.
John, it's kind of like we have the same job, except mine is a little bit gayer. Only a little bit, though. Just a little bit.
That's fairly. And to Richard's point, two things. One, there are a lot of people from the LGBT community who come to Hollywood, you know, for a lot of reasons. One, they're fleeing domestic violence, they're fleeing bad family situations, they come because they want to be in the entertainment industry. It is a significant population living on the streets, and probably the population that is most at risk and most afraid of going to shelters, frankly. So we try and work a lot. We try and share a lot of food with organizations like the Village Family Services, My Friend's Place, et cetera, that work specifically with the street youths who are LGBTQ.
So we are, we're thrilled that we're able to contribute a little bit. It's going to be a modest amount, but, from the money that came in from ticket sales for people to be here and chat with you and us, we're going to be happy to make a donation from that.
It was a lanyap. I wasn't here for that. You very graciously offered. It's huzzah, you know. So that's not why I'm here, but I'll take the money anyway. Thank you.
Whenever we can, man, whenever we can. Now, I have to let everybody know that this is not John's first rodeo with Gays in Space. And in fact, it will not be, if Picardo shows up while John is still with us, it will not be the first time that they are with us simultaneously. Now, Rich, could you play the slideshow that we've created highlighting some of our favorite moments with John Billingsley and Robert Picardo at Gays in Space events?
Let me do my Groucho Marx impersonation.
Yeah. Now, these are just a few of many moments that we have shared. As I mentioned, you're going to see a lot of kissing soon.
Really?
Which is, kind of what I miss the most about being able to do in-person events, John, is the hugging and boom, the double kiss. The double kiss happened several times that night. And there's Debbie, and that was us in Parsippany. This was Vegas.
New Jersey.
More kissing. And there was occasional drinking. There were a few adult beverages.
Oh, with Aaron. Oh, and Nana. Very
There's
nice.
Nana.
Chase.
More kissing.
Aww. It's like a tour of all my clothing closet too. It's like, I remember that shirt. that shirt's too stained to wear. That shirt I can't fit into anymore.
Robbie.
That shirt I shouldn't have been wearing.
Bonnie.
There's my wife.
Yay!
That my wife. She was at the first event, at that little place on Santa Monica.
Yeah, in LA.
Yeah.
So, John, how long have you been married?
We have been together for 22 years, married for 20 years, and happy for 17 years.
Well, congrats. That's a good run.
Thank you. That's a joke I tell at my wife's expense, and she's so fucking sick of it, but she's not in the room.
I get the feeling that she puts up with you.
She totally fucking puts up with me. But if you are married, anybody who's married knows.
I am married. I've been with my husband for 16 years.
Buried mutual antipathy is like part of the fucking thing. It's like, hi, honey. Hi, how are you today? I'm fine. How are you today? I'm fine. All right, let's talk at dinner.
Well, she also gets to really kind of let stuff out during conventions, because if you guys haven't been to a convention where John is a guest, Bonnie's job is to sit in the audience and heckle him.
That's how she started. That's how she started. First, she wasn't going to come to the conventions because she was shy. Then she came to one convention. Oh, don't know. I'll be in the back. I won't say a thing until the heckling started. And then now it's like, you know, I don't even fucking get on stage. I just hand her the microphone. I go off to the bar. I drink for 50 minutes. I come back. They give her a standing ovation. She takes my check.
And all is well in the world. I mean, in the Billingsley household, that's good stuff.
Happy wife, happy life.
Exactly.
That's what I tell my husband.
we both have at least I do, and she's gone along with it. I have a great love of low vaudeville. So for me, the conventions are one of the great joys of my life. I'm very sorry that I can't go to them anymore, because
I know.
I could bring out like a seltzer bottle or a cream pie, or I could give people prizes for asking the most embarrassing question. I'd run around. I shampooed somebody's hair once. Bonnie didn't like that. She thought that was over the line. It was like, oh, come on.
I've seen JG and Bob throwing things and eating people's food and generally being Klingons.
I know. Well, Klingons. I do it in more of a charming Denobulin-ish kind of fashion. More, more like a jester than a drunken soldier on a debauched weekend in Hoboken.
Well, you also, John, you also taught me a thing or two about how to run things like, giveaways and trivia. And because I would always come out with these autographed canvases and, the ruby slippers that Dorothy wore, and like, it would always be something huge. And one night in Chicago, John was there and he was like, well, do we have more stuff? I was like, no. He was like, yeah, we do. And you gave away your leftover French fries as a prize. And the guy who won them was like, yes, so amazing.
Well, at the convention, because you get the same questions all the time, and it's usually something about the show that I frankly don't remember. So I will try and lead the questions into areas of naughtiness, let's say. So I will say whoever asks the most embarrassing question will get a prize, and I will write a poem, which I will read at the outset, a little poem about that event, and that will be first prize, which I will sign, and then second prize will be like a little bag of toenail clippings or something, and then whatever. People love it. They love the toenail clippings. My toenail clippings are all over the fucking world, which I like. It's like my toenail clippings are better traveled than I am.
You must have been to some cool places. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, somewhere a clone of you is currently being fashioned because you keep giving away your DNA like that, right?
Well, hey, if they get a portion of my merriment and a tiny slice of a commitment to social justice and none of my dim-wittedness, that guy might do okay. If they get most of my dim-wittedness, then yeah, he's going to be pretty much a loser. But oh well.
So you must have gone to a lot of cool places to go around on the convention circuit. Do you have a favorite travel destination? I know we're all missing travel right now.
New Zealand.
Ooh, they have a lovely prime minister who I'm very big fan of.
I love New Zealand.
Jacinda. Yeah, I love her too. Yeah, no, that is an amazing, amazing place. It's so beautiful, and there are only 9 people in it, so you pretty much have the place to yourself.
That's why they have no coronavirus.
Yeah, when I was there, the last time I was there, somebody said, in New Zealand, if the nuclear holocaust came, the headline of the New Zealand main newspaper would be "Apple crop damaged by Holocaust." So, it is you really do feel like you are off the grid. It's just gorgeous. The people are very sweet. And it's about the length and the width of California, roughly speaking, but every tiny little bit and piece of it is so radically different. You get volcanic activity, every beach is different. Obviously you get down into the Lord of the Rings world, and that's
what I want to do. I want to go see hobbits.
Yes, I studied abroad in New Zealand for a semester in college, and Hobbiton was one of the places we went. But yeah, it's such a gorgeous country.
We got to tour the Peter Jackson's what is it called? His
Weta Workshop.
Weta Workshop, which was way cool.
That seems.
I auditioned for Peter Jackson for that movie, The Lovely Bones.
Oh, did you?
Anybody ever saw that?
I read the book.
Stanley Tucci got my part. Bastard.
Damn it, Stanley.
But I had like a 2-hour audition with Peter Jackson, which was pretty cool. Although Peter Jackson doesn't actually give notes. His 2 female producing partners give all the notes. Peter Jackson just kind of sits in the corner and looks sort of vaguely discontent, which is like, I think he brought me in. I thought it went very well. Anyway, enough about Peter Jackson.
Have you filmed anything else in New Zealand?
I didn't film anything in New Zealand. I was there on the convention circuit. And that's probably, I love Italy. I've enjoyed going to Italy on conventions. London, all over the US. Germany, not so much. That convention is fun, but it's a great place to kind of jump off and travel from. We
were supposed to host I was supposed to host a panel in Germany and London this year, so sad.
Big fan of Amsterdam, Sweden. I've been in a lot of places. It is a sad thing to kind of think that travel, who knows when, theater, who knows when, so many things, who knows when.
Well, one thing that we can know, hey Walt, can you queue up the first video question? Because we want to give our participants a chance to ask JB some questions. And while he does that, Kira, do you want to hit us with the first text question?
Sure. Let me just pop in here.
Andy Fark is willing to fight you, apparently.
Saw that.
And Andy Fark is willing to fight me or Kira?
He said he's going to go toe-to-toe with you in Bob's place.
Oh.
Right.
I'll fight you on Bob's behalf. I'm down for that.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Okay, so here's a question. It's kind of a shame Bob's not here, actually, but the question is, if the Doctor from Voyager and Dr. Phlox from Enterprise had ever met, do you think they would get along?
Dr. Phlox got along with everybody. Plus, he was polyamorous. It's entirely possible that it would have been the first hologram Denobulan fucking love play, seen on Star Trek.
That should have happened.
That should have happened. I know. There's so much crossover potential, I just, all the Doctors should be like marooned on a shuttle pod somewhere.
You guys are pretty great on stage together, I have to say.
I know, those guys are great. I love those guys. I crashed the panel that Frakes and Jerry Ryan were having in Vegas, saying, "Where's the fucking Denobulans on this show?"
What about the potential in Strange New Worlds? Do you think we'll see any Denobulans in there?
My fucking species is apparently persona non grata. I don't understand. We're a very nice species, I think. We're gentle, we're kind, we're good with animals. We've got
you're too nice. Where's the conflict? Where's the,
conflict. Dr. Phlox had an acerbic side. I think I have an acerbic side.
They're just afraid of having to film the polyamorous sex scenes. Can we please just call it like it is? They're just
And if they do bring back Denobulans, there'll be some hunky young Denobulans. It's like they're not going to bring back
some Wilson Cruz inspired
old fat Denobulan like Edgar Buchanan. You know who that is?
I do know who Edgar Buchanan is.
For those people who are listening, I can only say that this contingent of people did not know who Peggy Cass was, did not know who Tom Poston was, did not know who Kitty Carlisle was. They barely knew who Orson Bean was. That was the entire panel of To Tell the Truth, hosted by Gary Moore. I feel
Orson what?
Orson Bean.
Orson Bean.
In my defense, I am only 26 years old, and so a lot of references go over my head.
When I was your age, I knew about Harold Lloyd. Huh?
I don't know who that is.
I knew about the Civil War.
Okay, I knew about that one.
I understood that.
I got that reference.
Man.
All right, Walt, let's bring in the first question, please, sir.
I want to hear from somebody who knows who Peggy Cass is.
Okay, so I'm going to bring in Brandy Foxwell. So Brandy, you might have to unmute your microphone. You'll see it pop up.
Do you know who Peggy Cass is, Brandy?
Let's see.
You might have a...
I'm scared. Brandy Foxwell asterisk? Is that a married name?
I put I put that there because that's who I was choosing because they go up and down a lot. Like the names, they move a lot. So
I
I just
see. That'd be kind of a drag to go around.
Yeah, that's our little queue system for
I
managing.
I thought like like she had an asterisk next to her name. It's like,
Brandy, if you're let me see. I've never had an issue with this before. Let me see. I'm going to ask to start video. So feel free to say no on starting video, but maybe that's what I have to do. I've never had a problem with promoting someone before. So
you think it's Brandy? You think it's a Brandy thing? Is it Brandy?
no, it's definitely probably a Walt thing. I shouldn't be,
No, that's nice. It's nice of you to take it on for Brandy. It's probably Brandy.
Here,
Probably poured.
Come on.
Brandy, did you pour your gin and tonic into your computer panel? Is that what's happened? Are you?
The mic is still muted for Brandy, so they have to unmute themselves.
Brandy,
Lower
okay,
left
ask to
corner.
unmute. I'm going to try.
Wait. I see. Here she is.
Okay.
Brandy?
Well, here. If Brandy doesn't work with here, let me bring it on someone else.
All right, Brandy.
Okay?
Well, actually, Brandy's microphone is enabled. So, Brandy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here. I'll bring on Lane.
Yeah. Bring someone else in too.
Okay.
Sorry, Brandy. I'm sorry. You have a beautiful name, Brandy Foxwell asterisk.
Yeah. So.
Oh wait, is that hi? You're not Brandy. You're a different person.
This is.
Lane is also
Hi.
there you go.
Hi, Lane.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Is it Lane or Laney?
Lane rhymes with pain.
Lovely, fabulous. I like
Yeah.
Pain. Pain Page is kind of nice. Pain Page.
My question was, I noticed that your character Phlox had a lot of contradictions, and I only, since hearing you speak a little bit, have begun to get a little idea as to why that might be. And I think I heard something about, you had your own thoughts and ideas, and they, didn't mix with what you were told to do. And I was wondering, out of what I saw, what were your ideas versus what their ideas were, and B, maybe what ideas did you have that you never got to express? Like, for instance, I noticed that Phlox will feed someone with his fingers, and he lives in that, every husband has several wives and every wife has several husbands, and yet they don't like to be touched, and that doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I had the same reaction to that. Yes, I thought that was weird too. My biggest thought, because there was no denobulin before me, and they didn't give you any backstory particularly, so I thought, well, nobody's ever seen a denobulin before, so I figured there were only like 8 of us left, and that we were the survivors of a vanished, civilization. So to find out, in fact, we breed like rabbits and we're on the most overpopulated planet in the galaxy, I thought that was kind of odd. It's like, well, where have we been hiding all this time? I love the polyamory. I thought that was great. I tried. I don't know that their intention was to suggest that we were polyamorous. I tried to do everything I possibly could in my performance to suggest we were polyamorous. And I have gone on for years to say that I was the first gay Star Trek character insofar as I was polyamorous. I don't think I'm actually given credit in any of the books that are being written, however, unfortunately. Who is formally the first gay Star Trek character? You should know.
Technically,
Sulu.
Sulu.
In
Star Trek Beyond.
As a character?
Beyond.
Actually,
As a character.
that was really only implied, and not even really
Remarked
George Takei said that Sulu was not gay, and he actually said that he didn't totally think it made a whole lot of sense to suddenly make Sulu gay, and that scene can be interpreted however.
But they have a character. They have a character in one of the new shows, right? Who's
Oh yeah, there's a couple. There's the Doctor and Anthony.
You should have 2. I mean, it's like one.
Wilson Cruz and Anthony Rapp's characters.
Only.
They're the first
Probably should have,
explicitly
like-
stated.
Yeah.
The first time they said "I'm gay" in Star Trek was Anthony.
You should
Rapp.
just have like a gay ship. I know that sounds segregated, and I don't mean it to, but I just think that would be the funnest fucking ship.
This is it. I don't know
It
what you're
would be
talking
like-
about.
yeah,
This is
I
the
know.
gay shit.
I know.
That's our captain.
You're not. You never find any new worlds. You don't solve any problems. You don't like stop any wars or anything. In fact, the ship never fucking leaves the goddamn port.
And we're always late.
But
It's a
you're always
party.
late, and the tech is a little problematic, but you have fun. I think that's great. I think that's great.
And also, John, could you tell the story about the scene where you're in sickbay naked, and your suggestion to...
Oh, yes. I did suggest to them that there is an episode in which Dr. Phlox is naked and he walks into sickbay, and I suggested that he should turn sharply to the left, and all the way across the room, a flower pot should fall to the ground.
Awesome.
Which they didn't. They didn't. It wasn't like Picardo. Picardo could waltz in and he could say, "I should be an opera buff," and they made him an opera buff. Or he'd say, "I should have an affair with Jerry Ryan," and he'd have an affair with Jerry Ryan.
I think we're now gonna push Billingsley for you to be a producer on Strange New Worlds to get all these ideas onto screen.
My other
especially
idea,
the hot guys one.
My other idea was that. The him being being woken up from a nap. I did have that idea first, but they wouldn't give me credit for it because I was just shooting my mouth off, and I think somebody stole it, but I didn't get any credit. My other idea was that they should pick up, like, this is before they introduced any other Denobulan. They should pick up a ship, and it's full of Denobulans, and every single one of them looks exactly like me, and they're all like ridiculous slobs. Like, they leave food around. They don't pick up after themselves. It's like the place begins to stink. There's dirty laundry lying around. It's like The Odd Couple, except, Denobulans are Oscar Madison and everybody else is Felix Unger. It's like da-da-da-da-da-da. They didn't like that idea. I lost weight.
It's part of that army of clones, that you have out there in the world.
I lost some weight in the 3rd season, and I suggested to make that make sense, they should have an episode where they pull a tapeworm out of my ass, like everybody in the crew. They didn't like that idea. See,
that at least made it in dialogue, right? Because Phlox says that he has a tapeworm. We just never get to see it.
Yeah, we did. I know. I think we should have seen it. Now, Bob Picardo had like classy, involved ideas and treatments, and it was like my ideas were just kind of like, hey, that would be kind of cool. What if Dr. Phlox had 3 dicks, and they each had a name? and then the producers would kind of wander away. If they saw me coming to the craft table, it would be like, oh, I have an important conference that I have to get to, and.
Billingsley, a lot of genius is never, appreciated.
Appreciated in their own time, like prophets.
Yeah, exactly.
And they each had their own name, folks. They each had their own name.
I know. As Rick would break into a trot, I'd be chasing him down the fucking Paramount. Rick, come back, go! Oh, each penis has its own separate identity and characteristic, too. Like, one penis is very aggressive, and the other penis is very loving, and then there's a middle penis that tries to keep them apart. Like a peacemaker penis.
Who here would not watch that show? Come on, everybody.
Right? I might not.
Wow.
It's like mud swimming, only penises.
The names rhyme like Inky, Pinky, and Blinky.
I didn't get around to the naming of it, unfortunately. I was trying to pitch the concept first.
Yeah. Phlox is my favorite character on Enterprise.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll make sure to let everybody else on Enterprise know.
and Lane, he will.
Yeah, repeatedly.
Thank you so much.
You know what Lane Page said? Favorite character on Enterprise? Who's your least favorite character? I want to make a special point of telling them. Would it be Dominic, I think? I'm going to say it's Dominic.
Well, I don't want to say anything mean.
It's not Porthos, right?
Porthos is a cutie.
Okay, so it's not Porthos. That's good.
Let's just say it's Dominic. I'll drop him a note after we're done here. Lane Page, P-A-I-G-E, says you were unfavorable.
Least favorite on Enterprise.
Least favorite. I won't. He's far too short tempered to make fun of like that.
And far too short in general.
Oh! Going to come back now.
Oh, you can't tell. I'm quite tall.
Dominic is a lovely fellow. I say nothing negative about him.
Yeah.
I've seen him at Star Trek Las Vegas and a couple other places.
Horizontal or vertical?
He was vertical.
Oh, okay. All right.
He was vertical and perhaps slightly medicated.
Wow. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on from this particular conversation. Lane, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, there'll be a lawsuit forthcoming. Dom's lawyers will be in touch.
See you after the plague.
All right.
Yes, after the plague.
Bye.
Thank you.
Next year,
Walt, Let's queue up the next video question. Well, actually, have we been able to get...
Did Brandy Cogswell asterisk ever come back? Brandy.
I'm not sure. I'm still laughing at your joke, John. Sorry, I'm still.
Which joke? I've made 10 jokes tonight. 9.
The joke about the horizontal thing. That was funny. I'm like sitting here and I'm on mute, but I was laughing for.
Well, Walt, have you ever been to Star Trek Las Vegas?
No.
Walt doesn't know anything about Star Trek.
Have you ever seen?
You're an
Have you ever
honorary
seen
Trekkie
Dominic
now.
and Connor host karaoke?
He's learning. We're brainwashing him. But,
Rich and Dan.
He's got a really strong
and Kira.
will,
Yeah, I am as new with Trek stuff as I'm a total noob with this stuff.
Oh, are you normally an NFL analyst? Is this just like a day job for you?
Yeah. No, I'm like a big audio video guy, so I do a lot of production work for people. Okay. So that's why they asked me to do some work for the show. Yeah.
He's my buddy back from Philly. We used to work on projects together.
Oh, cool.
In a hyperspace. Yeah. Very, very.
I was born in Media, Pennsylvania.
I grew up in the Lehigh Valley.
All right, yeah.
We have a small world. I keep having these Pennsylvania connections with people, especially people I've met through Gays in Space. Yeah, we're very East Coast rocking it over here.
We were run out of town fairly quickly. I should probably answer somebody else's question, or it'll just be like Lane.
Yes.
So I was going to say, Dan, should I take the powers of the universe and give Brandy a second shot? Do we feel good about this?
You have the power. And while you're doing that, John, are you registered to vote in Pennsylvania by any chance? Or are you registered to vote only in California?
Only in California. Yeah, my dog is registered to vote in Pennsylvania. Oh my God, the Republicans take them seriously. Their dogs are going to vote. Their dogs are going to vote.
Oh my God.
Had to ask.
Don't even go there with me. You see those cocksuckers? No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. That's actually a word I'm told one shouldn't use as an epithet anymore. So I'm trying to stop using that. My father was a gay sailor. So I was raised by somebody who used that particular epithet, like fuck. So unfortunately, it's taken me many, many years to not use that particular epithet because it's so euphonious. But I know it is. Yeah.
Well, it's really only negative if you're bad at it.
She goes.
I just have to say that.
We got Brandy. Yeah.
Brandy!
I just got home from work, so I'm like rushing on all this.
I'm
not very good
the
with
microphone. I'm going to turn my microphone off, but I'm like so happy that this is working out.
Brandy Foxwell asterisk. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm peachy keen, thank you.
Oh, it's fantastic to see you.
Thank you. It's nice to be seen.
Yeah. Are you going to be on the cruise next year?
If there is a cruise, yes.
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm probably not the person to talk to when you're looking for glass half full stuff about this dreadful play, but we'll see. We'll see.
I'm curious what are the pictures on the board behind you?
Those are books.
They're books. Well, on the other side, it just looks like you had a collection of pictures up there.
Books.
No.
Oh, I see. Wait a second. We're gonna tour. Oh, here, like this stuff right here.
Yes.
Oh, they're little different photographs. Here, I'll show you some. Let's see.
See, that's it.
We're getting a tour of the excellent office items of John Billingsley.
Wow.
This is my friend and I at New Year's.
Look at that. That's adorable. It looks like.
This is the missus on an Africa safari.
Awesome.
Oh, cool.
Look at that.
And then there are a whole bunch of others. Just little bits and bobs.
Did you have a favorite animal on your show?
There was just the dog. Everything else, the bat and all that stuff, that was all CGI or effects. So the only actual animal that I engaged with was the dog. And the two little girl dogs, two twins, I think. I can't remember their names. They were sweet. It's hard to act with a dog. It's hard to act with Jolene. It's hard to act with the dog. I didn't say that. Come on. Jesus Christ. I'm making fun. I love all of those guys. The dog was hard.
Awesome.
The dog was gassy.
Well, thank you for letting me through.
Of course.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us tonight. Where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm from Riverview, Florida.
Florida's a problem.
I know. I know.
It's okay. You're the good people in Florida. We can
Well,
tell.
I work at a hospital, so believe me, I know.
Oh, bless you.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Thank you
Jeez.
for all your hard work.
Are you?
Yeah,
Are you a nurse?
seriously.
Are you a doctor?
It gets something.
What do you do, Brandy?
Oh, I'm a respiratory therapist.
Oh, great.
Boy. Wow.
Yeah, I'm the
Wow,
one
I'm
who-
sure you're really in demand right now.
Yeah.
I take care of the ventilators.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
You're really doing a great job for
Oh
us.
my
Thank you so
gosh.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
For
your
Super
hard work,
important.
yeah.
My pleasure. It's a very rewarding job sometimes.
Wow.
And sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Boy.
actually, what I'd like to do right now, Brandy, is I'm going to ask you a trivia question. And if you get it right, we are going to send you one of 2 remaining face masks. Sarah Hart, Rich's mom, made Gaze and Space inspired face masks.
Oh,
And she made a ton of them. And we've given all of them away now, except for 2. And I kind of feel like you should be the one who gets one of the 2. What, my fellow Gaze and Spacers, what do you think? Thumbs up?
I think, yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I think
use
so. Okay. And now, Brandy, the best part about this trivia question is that if you don't get it right, John has a chance to save you.
Oh, you're doomed, Brandy. You better get it right. Better be an enterprise question, otherwise I'm not going to have a
Basil, I mean...
Still one of my all-time favorite enterprise scenes. I think the 2 of you, the way Connor delivers that line of "she's your wife" is just pure gold. So, okay, Brandy, here's the question. What is Mrs. Phlox's first name?
I knew you were gonna ask that, and it's like I'm drawing a blank. Drawing a total blank. And I've seen that episode so many times.
John, can you save Brandy?
I think it's Faisal?
That is so close that it's almost right. Yes, Faisal. That counts. That works, right, everybody?
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
All right. Yay. Congratulations, Brandy. So we are going to be
I'm
sending
sorry it
you...
couldn't have been a Corvette, Brandy. I really am. I would have.
Hey, that's
I
it's
would
all
have
good.
I would have stretched it out a little longer too.
It's
Frankly.
just cool to talk to you guys.
So we're sending you that. We're also going to send you a Gaze in Space magnet and a Gaze in Space keychain.
Too
Because
cool.
we would like you to be reminded of us at every possible turn. Thank you so much, Brandy, for joining us. And Walt, if you could just take down Brandy's info so we can send that stuff to her. And thank you again for being with us.
Very
Awesome.
nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you, Brandy.
Thank you, John.
Thank
Very
you.
nice to meet you too.
My pleasure.
Yes.
Keep fighting the good fight.
I sure will. I sure will.
All right. Walt, cue up the next one. Kira, do we have a text question in the meantime?
Yep. Hold on.
I love Jolene, by the way. I realize I make jokes about people all the time, but people who don't know me are thinking they're taking notes. Like, you know, there's not a single cast member I don't insult at least 6 times a day. And
Hunter S. Thompson question's pretty good, Kira.
Yeah, I was just looking at that one.
Hunter S. Thompson,
Yeah. So
the
our
famous
friend,
dead Gonzo journalist.
our friend Andy Fark wants to know, what's your favorite book by Thompson?
Birthday's today, apparently.
Either the one he wrote of the one he wrote about the 72 election, the name of which is escaping me. He wrote one about the Hell's Angels, which I liked. I know everybody likes Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas a lot. I don't profess to be, a huge student of his. I think those are the only 3 I've read.
So I have my master's in English Lit, and I've noticed obviously you are an avid reader.
I am an avid.
And so what are some of your favorite authors?
Oh, that's so hard. I always kind of dodge that question because it's so apples and oranges. It's like, that like what would you like to have on a desert island? It's like I want steak and ice cream. I am reading. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get because I can never remember off the top of my head. Let's see. But I write little mini reviews of the books I read.
That's
so
a
that
good
I
way to
can
remember what you
Yeah.
liked and disliked about a
Yes.
book.
Have you read, for instance, How to Live Safely in a Science Fictional Universe by Charles Yu?
I haven't, but my husband just said from the couch, I love that book.
I love that book. Yes, he's a staff writer, I believe, or he was on Westworld, but he is a
Yes, and we're currently working our way through Westworld.
Yeah, don't tell no spoilers. I haven't gotten to the third season.
Nope, that's where we are. We haven't watched season 3 yet.
Let's see. This is totally random. These are just things that are coming up. I am a big Faulkner fan. I just finished a John Barth novel, Meg Wolitzer.
Yes, I love her. I saw her. She lives in Connecticut. I saw her speak, actually.
Yeah, the Uncoupling I read recently, which I love. George Packer, the journalist, I think is great. He wrote a great book called The Unwinding. I can play this game all day long. So
that's why I asked. You seem to have a great bookshelf there.
Yeah, well, that's one of them. Yeah, I've got about 20,000 books, I guess. So, and a very long-suffering life.
20,000 might be an underestimation, everyone. While we get ready for, I'm just realizing time just flies so quickly when you're chatting with John Billingsley. Rich, we need to play the video from 5-Year Mission because apparently 5-Year Mission and JB, I don't know, they have this love-hate thing going on, and it's just,
It's only a 3-year mission because 2 of the guys are in prison. I think I established that on Twitter. So it's a
You did.
Now.
Yep, you did. So we're going to play their music video, and then we're going to bring them into the room so that they can explain themselves and how they made bail.
And I can stay a little bit later because my niece and nephew were coming to dinner, but I just got a text saying they're late. So you bring them on. I'm just going to tell my wife they're running late, and we can keep chatting.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. All right, Rich, cue it up. It's 5YM-beautiful. And Rich.
Solitary world, not permitting anyone to see. I know your light, I've seen it shining through. You tell me that it's just the illusion that I'm buying into. What I'm seeing is just not real. I say to not see you, you must be blind. And you say to me that I should let it go, but I say no. I just want to show you you're so beautiful. I can barely take the sight. You're so beautiful, it drives me crazy every night. If I could just convince you what I already know would be right, we'd be beautiful together, beautiful. I'd like to know if this time we spent is true, or is it just another assignment for you? You can look at me, doesn't mean that you can't see. For any other reason than you won't. There's no You're so beautiful, I can barely take the sight. You're so beautiful, it drives me crazy every night. If I could just convince you what I already know would be right, would be beautiful together, beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, we got Bob.
Yes.
And Elizabeth. Hey, John, that was terrific.
And we also have the 5-year mission, boys. Did we miss anybody?
Let's see,
Chris,
we got Andy
is
and Mike and
Noah
Chris.
or
Uh,
Noah or Patrick?
Noah and
Noah and
Patrick couldn't
Patrick.
make it. They're in jail.
Ah, yes.
Well, let's be honest, it's prison.
So John was not lying in his tweet. Okay. It's the last time I doubt you, my friend.
You're muted, Fark.
Yeah. Unmute yourself.
I got him. No, I don't.
Hi, Bob and Elizabeth.
Hey. Good to see you.
Looks lovely where you are.
We have cocktails.
Hey,
Hi,
Walt, can
guys.
you unmute Andy, please?
Sure.
Bob,
Just,
thank you. Bob and
yeah.
Elizabeth, thank you guys so much for popping in and joining us. I have to first compliment you on your attire because you are the best dressed. Look at that, everybody. I mean,
I think we're getting a little too much knee, so I'm doing that. How does that sit? There we go.
I took a shower.
Hey,
Clean
Really?
shirt.
I got my
Somebody
rainbow
record
dress
the
on.
date.
Don't stir up trouble, Dan. You know.
I will challenge anyone in this Zoom room to a fashion competition right here, right
Oh,
now.
I think that's a call out for Bob.
Pink bow tie, I think. Hi,
I
Elizabeth.
told you, I got the Gays in Space shirt on. What can I do?
I need to say hi to Elizabeth. I haven't seen Elizabeth in a long time. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, how are
It's
you?
nice to see you.
I have a whole wardrobe of Gays in Space outfits, actually.
She's a very big. She's very big in the Gays in Space branding world. She's well known.
Were you given like Gays in Space T-shirts for your individual appearances? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
They didn't
I
give
don't-
them
Sweatshirt.
I don't recall getting a Gays in Space.
Well, that's because Dan has something very special for you, right? In the works.
That has to be the answer to
Very special.
a question I was not about to answer. Thank you for the save, Amy.
There you go.
Amy, how have we not given you shirts?
That was going to be my very
Your
next
question. Okay, all right.
You
we're
know,
gonna
I do
rectify that.
I do vaguely recall the last time that I appeared with y'all. It was with Bob, and you had one shirt, and I think you made us mud wrestle for it.
That must have been a
you won.
sight.
You won.
Do you remember that, Bob? Is that?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? They most people openly prefer me over you, John. It's something that I don't think that we can hide from you anymore. So yes, I got the shirt.
Actually, my favorite Bob Picardo story is out of blue sky. One day I got an email from Bob and it said, "Hi, John, just wanted to let you know, recent fan poll voted me as the most popular and attractive Star Trek Doctor, and you came in last. Bye, good to hear from you." It's like
Well, you told me to stay in touch.
You did. I know. It's like a little parachute of love.
I don't know. Have either of y'all seen Wilson Cruz without his shirt? Because
Yeah, this was pre Wilson Cruz. I think
he just came in and just.
Safe to say that. Yeah.
It's That's right, John. I was sliding into home plate because I knew it wasn't going to last long. All right.
No, I know. It was.
So,
yeah. Hello, you gentlemen down in the bottom row here.
Hi, John.
How
Hello.
are you? It's good to see you. That was lovely. That was a lovely tune.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are all of you living in your mother's basements? I'm just curious.
This Mike.
I'm in the attic. Thank you very much. I've moved up in the world.
That's good.
Literally.
It's nice to see you all, and you're missing the other two fellas. They're not really in prison. Where are they?
They could be. We haven't seen them in months.
Really?
Has anyone seen anyone in months? Let's be
precisely.
real.
Well, yeah. To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
I liked your music. That was great. I miss you
thought
guys.
it was great.
I know, and it sucks. It sucks because we probably would have been able to see you in Vegas, Amy.
I know. I would have been doing my thing. You would have been doing your thing. It would have been so much fun.
That idea of opening up Vegas, that was real, like,
oh,
that was smart.
All the plastic partitions while having to play poker. That's a little strange.
Yeah.
It's not working.
It's a little early for that right now.
I spoke to a friend today who is, I guess it must be very cheap in Vegas now. He's in the Elvis Presley suite, the 15,000 square foot suite in the old Las Vegas Hilton, which now has a new name.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be getting pictures of the, Billingsley, you may have been invited to the Elvis suite. I don't know, back in the day, but I never was.
I don't believe I was ever invited to the Elvis suite. No, and yeah,
not for free at least.
I guess your friend has moxie. I would not go to Vegas right now. I confess.
I wouldn't either, but they drove, and I guess that the group of friends that are all quarantined together. In other words, they've been around each other. The four of them are in the suite together, and it's 15,000 square feet. And they also got a tour of the Elvis. Apparently had one suite with 15,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms to live in, and then across the hall there was a 16,000 square foot suite for him to entertain prominent guests who came to see him that night. So he had 31,000 square feet.
Is that just the whole top floor? Like,
I guess so. Yeah.
Did your friend get it at a discount, or I'm assuming?
I'm guessing he did. He books very big conventions for major corporations. So I'm sure, because he's booked all of the hotels, and that I'm sure he's getting a very good deal. And they like to lure him to these in the future when he's doing his big events for large corporations, then he will have seen their property, and maybe he'll book a convention there. So,
nice.
But in any case,
I did stay in the Mini Pearl suite one time. That was not as capacious. Bob, you know who Peggy Cass is, right?
Sure, of course, yeah.
Of course. Tom Poston?
Of course. These are all Broadway actors.
Absolutely.
They're Broadway actors who became known as panelists to America on Meet the Press, but they were all theater actors.
To tell the truth.
I'm sorry, to tell the truth. Forgive me, not Meet the Press.
It's quite all right. You at least knew who they were, because I cricket. They didn't know who Robert Young was. Actually,
you're 26 years old, John. Stop it.
As I said, when I was 6 years old, I knew my theatrical history. I knew about the history of the English Civil War.
I told you I understood that reference.
Fresh question. Ask me a question about Cromwell. Go ahead.
We've all been properly shamed about our non.
Look, Billingsley has the monolith from Close Encounters in books behind him. Look at it.
I know, right? He does.
It's not mashed potatoes, guys. He's read all those books.
I know that reference.
Yeah, we get that one too. We get the sci-fi references, okay?
That was made well before you were born.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
What are you guys up to, Bob? What are you doing with yourself? I know you get asked this question all the time, but I don't know. Where are you right now? Are you in? Where are you?
I'm sorry. Who are you speaking to?
I'm speaking
to you.
Oh, to me.
Yeah, to you.
I'm in Elizabeth's home in the East Bay of San Francisco. So we're in a very pretty, old redwoods. We can bicycle and walk, and it's very, very pretty. Low population density.
Okay.
So it's been a nice place to lock down, and of course we are newlyweds, so it's good to. Oh, did you not know this?
No, I don't know. I don't know these things. What I don't get.
We didn't know you were making it official. We thought it was all.
We kept it very quiet. We kept it quiet, and also all the gays in space people are very discreet. But we've kept it off of social media. But Elizabeth and I are now honeymooners. We've been married almost a year.
And not to make you feel worse, John, but I was invited to the wedding. I just couldn't make it. I'm sorry you didn't get that.
When is the 1 year?
I bet all the other doctors got invited.
Yeah, were you gonna have a little party
August, are we gonna have a little party? It'll have to
with
be a
just
Zoom
yourselves?
Well, I wanted to.
August what?
31st, he said.
Oh, 31st.
I wanted to ask Elizabeth. Normally we do all of our serious stuff at the very beginning, but Elizabeth, I know your work in at the hospital. Like, I just want to kind of check in and see how things are going, how you are doing, what's been going on.
Tell everybody what an awesome, badass lady doctor you are.
That too.
Well, we didn't really get, on the first wave, we didn't really get all that much. We never had more than about 21 patients in the hospital at one time. But now that people have been behaving badly, and partying and going to bars and so on, now we're seeing, the other day I worked, and the first 2 cases I saw coming through the ER were that. And it's only going up now. And I work in Sacramento, even though I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. Unfortunately, I only have to go into work about once every 2 weeks because I don't want to go. But, there's stuff that has to be done. And now that it's clear that it can be transmitted through ventilation systems, basically you're sitting there with your N95 mask on all day. You can't really do your work because the dictaphones can't pick it up. And I just do my lung biopsies, however many, and then just leave, go home. I have a home workstation, so that's good.
Because she's a radiologist, she is mostly sitting in front of a screen most of her work, unless she's doing procedures. So for the people who didn't know that, that's why she works at home a good deal of the time, but has to go in for procedures.
Yeah, there was, Rich told me, Rich is a big fan of memes and little stories that pop up on social media. I, not so much, but a story popped up that was really tragic that he told me about that has really stuck with me, which was the patient in Texas who went to a COVID party, contracted COVID, and as he laid dying in the hospital, the last thing he said to his nurse was, "I think I made a mistake. It's not a hoax." And I bring that up only because I think, this is hard enough to defeat, for all of us to defeat the world. We should do everything we can to make everyone realize this is real, and don't gamble your life because you want to think that,
when you have
liberals are doing
Donald Trump or a Bolsonaro, I mean, it requires countries that have succeeded have made it part of a national agenda. It is the man is drenched in blood.
See, this is why we love John, because he tells it like it is.
Right.
I very much appreciate that.
But who is the first man in this country to constantly say COVID-19 and the word hoax in the same sentence over and over and over and over again?
Or linking it to the Chinese, as if COVID-19 just spontaneously, goes out of Chinese people. It's really gross. Yeah.
Well, he was really hoping it was a racist thing, like a racist. COVID is racist and only attacks the people that he wants.
Can I also just say, while we're on the subject, I don't want to hear one. Forgive me. I realize that I'm extremely political, and if there are some Republicans listening, well, shame on you. Because really, I mean, I'm sorry. How can any Republican, when John Lewis dies, talk about the arc of history is long and it bends toward justice, while they are simultaneously burying the Voting Rights Act and enacting suppression laws? It's just fuck you, man.
What would we call my mom, babe, the first grandmother, Gays in Space or whatever, or mother of Gays in Space, first mother of Gays in Space. Yeah, we'll just call her. Yeah, sorry, Mom. I didn't say grandmother, Mom. Sorry.
Nope. Sarah is the Gays in Space mom.
But my mother, we have very different politics. I'm very liberal, and
Is she watching this? I'm sorry, Mom. But
She
come on.
is.
Come on.
She was part of the Republican Party as a prosecutor for a long time, but she now no longer is a Republican. She's been
That's a whole different animal. No, I'm
much more liberal because even now she can't take the party
I got no
how
bone to pick
much
with the
it's-
lapsed Republicans.
Yeah, so she's reformed. Sorry, Mom, you're not here to defend yourself.
My parents were Republicans. I grew up in an era when the world was very different.
Well, that's what the discussion always comes down to. The Republican, she was a Reagan Republican, so the politics of the party, even though I didn't agree with them even back then, they are much different. I mean, the party's just so much different now. It's almost unrecognizable in a lot of ways.
And I'd like to just interject that, I work with Kate Mulgrew, and she has worked with Stacey Abrams, who has Fair Fight, which is for voters' rights. So if anyone who's watching or listening really wants to put their money where their mouth is and help out, you can donate, or you can, help out with voter suppression. And also if you look on Kate's social media, she has a link to support Teresa Greenfield for Iowa, because the Iowa primary and the Iowa election is extremely important this year. So that is something that she's been championing, and that also I am too. So get out and vote. And if you live in Iowa or you have friends or family, vote for Teresa.
Awesome. We will include those links in the description with this video. And just to wrap all of that up, everybody, I don't care what side you're on, vote. Just make sure you vote. That's what's most important.
I don't think the Republicans need to vote. I think actually you should just stay home. Stay home.
I do usually add the caveat that you should only vote if you know the right person to vote for. Like if you're have an educated opinion on the subject and then vote. But okay, we're moving on past that. Let's bring up the first question from the audience. Is Mike Diamond in the chat?
Andy, who's your puppy there?
This is Sophie, one of my members. Say hi.
Oh, so cute.
Adorable. Okay, yeah, let's bring Mike Diamond in. Bob, Mike has a question for you. Mike is the host of a podcast called Fire Chicote, where they go through the episodes and recap and give, a unique perspective. Sometimes I guest host with them, and it's pretty gay, and I think you would enjoy it, sir. So let's bring Mike in. There he is.
Sure. Hello. Oh, video.
Hey, Mike, I hear you, but I don't see you. Oh, there you are.
Wow, terrible lighting on me. Oh, shit. I mean, hi, everybody.
Hi, yes, your glasses are rectangles of white.
Well, then I'll take them off. But look, I have a moon. I have a planet. So, hello. Dan, thank you again for doing this. Such a great event. And Mr. Picardo, I do have a question for you.
All righty.
I would like to know, what was your experience like when you were on an episode of The Golden Girls?
Oh, gosh. Well, B. Arthur is a comic genius. All of those women were great. I had seen Estelle Getty in the original production of Torch Song Trilogy off Broadway. It was an amazing ensemble, but the little scenes that I had were obviously with B, and B was an icon to my mother. So whenever I worked with someone that my mother adored, like George C. Scott or B. Arthur or whatever, it was always a very happy day back in the family house in Philadelphia. She was hilarious. She kept kind of to herself. I don't remember having any kind of a personal conversation with her. Now that I'm of a certain age, I've had a lot of people say to me, my father loves you, or my grandfather thinks you're hilarious, or my great uncle grew up watching you. So it's a little annoying. And so when I said to B. Arthur back in the day, my mother loves you, she probably went, yeah, sure, kid, thanks. But anyway, it was a very funny scene. When we have good writing, all you have to do is say the words.
And you were playing a doctor.
I was playing Dr. Ravel. I love that name.
Amazing.
And I came in to get her to sign a form that if she died during the surgery, that the hospital and the doctor would not be responsible. And if she said, "I'm having a foot surgery. How can you die during a foot surgery?" I said, "Well, it happens, you know." So anyway, so I was and then I was also apparently called to testify against another doctor in a malpractice suit or something. Oh, that's right. The doctor that I'm replacing her doctor who was in a malpractice suit. That was the joke, I think. Anyway, it was very funny. I remember Terry Hughes, the British director, had directed me in a series that no one has ever heard of, called Steam Bath, based on a Bruce J. Friedman play from the 70s. Yep.
Anthony Perkins.
They did and it has a very famous television production on PBS because it's the first time there was any nudity on public television. Valerie Perrine was, and no, it was Bill Bixby did the TV version.
Oh, Anthony Perkins was in the off-Broadway production.
The off-Broadway production. Yeah. I played that part, Rod Tandy or something. They tried to turn it into a television series for Showtime, and this is the early 1980s. And Showtime at that time had the reputation of kind of being like Cinemax, you know, kind of
Skinemax.
A real second. Yeah, it was mostly, you know, low rent movies, a little TNA and all that. So they tried to have two sitcoms. One of them was called Brothers, and it was the first major gay character in a situation comedy after Soap, of course. Philip Charles Mackenzie, I think it was his name, and he was hilarious in the show. But ours was the show that didn't make it. Steam Bath was based on the play, and you know, basically, if for those of you who don't know the play, a steam room is sort of a holding tank between Earth and the next world, and God is a Puerto Rican steam bath attendant. That's the gag. So you're in some sort of and you have to examine the choices you made in life in a comic situation. You have to examine your choices and wonder whether or not you've earned a better afterlife. So it's kind of high concept. It was very 1970s, I think. And I remember my favorite line from the pilot, when they tell me that I've died, that I'm dead, I had, my line was, "Dead, but I have theater tickets." So that's the kind of humor. So
he just passed away, I believe, Bruce J. Friedman.
Bruce J. Friedman?
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, and if you watch it, there's a scene or two on the internet. If you search for this, there's like, and Perez is hilarious in it. He also did the public television version with, in fact, I think he created the role. I think Jose Perez. Anyway, he is very funny. The rest of us not so much. But it had great guest stars. Dick Shawn was on it. So there were, you know, and I had to sign a nudity clause. I had to agree to appear naked, even though there was an outpouring of American sentiment to not see me naked, much like you've experienced, John.
I signed that petition, Bob. I don't remember the show very well, but anytime a petition crosses my transom saying, "Do you want to see Bob on?" I say, no, I'm going to.
And yet you have exposed yourself at parts of yourself, not the really exciting parts, but at conventions more than any other Star Trek actor, I believe, on the planet.
I take a certain amount of personal pride in that. Thank you very much.
I know you do, because otherwise you wouldn't persist.
And I was on the show that killed the franchise, and I still am able to take my clothes off more than anybody else. I know it's.
I think we should do "I Killed the Franchise, but I Did Not Shoot the Deputy." We should work that song up. All right, for a cruise or something.
Franchise is alive and well. Y'all did not kill it.
Yeah. Before there were like 20 Star Trek shows on television. Now that after
I know. No, they're breeding like rabbits.
Tribbles.
Now.
They're breeding like tribbles.
Know. You can't turn on the TV without some new Star Trek show. It's ridiculous. It's amazing.
And there's so many ones that have no interest in having us on. It's unbelievable.
Not a one of them does.
It's an explosion of non-interest.
I was telling them earlier that Frakes and Jerry Ryan were on a panel in Vegas, and I crashed it. It's like, come on, how about a little Denobulin love? Bring back the Denobulins. They just.
Would you go back in the makeup, or have you had enough?
I would back. Yeah, I would go back in the makeup. I'm sure that America is clamoring for the. What was that species from the show that killed the franchise? The old fat guy. Let's see him again.
Speaking of unbelievable, are both of you set to appear in that? That's coming out in August. That sci-fi spoof.
I believe I am in it with. Are you in Unbelievable, John?
I unless the scene got cut, Jeffrey Coombs, Armin Shimerman. I've never known how to pronounce his name.
Shimmerman.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank God. I had a 50-50 shot, and I've been saying it right all these years. He and Jeff Coombs and I appeared as basically Mo, Larry, and Curly. And then we turn into, I think we're female versions of Mo, Larry, and Curly. I'm not really sure I want to see this movie. I'm
excited. I'm going to watch
it. I don't want to see my scene.
Well, I play 4 characters in the movie, which means you definitely don't want to see it.
Oh, I'd be happy to see you. I just am not entirely sure I want to see myself as a female stooge.
I am, it's a long time in the making. The producers are great people. I really like them. I wish them the best. And I think it's the only time that you have over 40 Star Trek actors in one place other than a cruise ship, but on film together.
Yeah, I think it's 42 is the number.
42.
Secret of Life universe.
I was going to say it's the answer to everything.
Well, thank you for taking my question. It's been a total thrill, and I'm doing a complete rewatch of Voyager right now for my podcast, and I'm loving it. So thanks for taking my question, and I enjoyed seeing you on Golden Girls as well.
Thank you.
And if it makes you feel better, Bob, I grew up watching you, and I remember Coach Cutlip from the Wonder Years. That was my first time seeing you, and also all the Joe Dante movies. So don't think that it's just people who are like, my great uncle loved you.
No, I mean, my parents used to put me to bed, when I was still in my crib. They're some of Bob's. This is actually his later work. I didn't see, the early work. That was before my time. But I certainly.
I'm trying to be nice, John.
I know. And you know what?
And Bob, no, you don't try to be nice.
Bob is so nice that you need me to provide astringency.
It's true. It's true. So, Bob, are you doing anything with Planetary Society right now?
Well, I'm doing a series of little videos. I'm going to reach out to my Star Trek colleagues, and as you know, I reached out to Kate first, and I'm delighted she said yes, to make a little video talking about what space means to you, and also how the Planetary Society is a longtime friend of the Star Trek franchise, and how the Planetary Society inspires people to be interested in space just as the Star Trek franchise does. You may not know that Gene Roddenberry, 40 years ago, wrote a letter that I guess was snail mailed back in the day, because this is 1980. He wrote a letter to his mailing list of Star Trek fans, I guess, from conventions and whatnot, telling them that he never does this. He never supports any organization publicly like this. But the Planetary Society was special. He supported their mission. For those of you who don't know, Carl Sagan co-founded the Planetary Society 40 years ago, and I'm on the executive board, and Bill Nye, the Science Guy, is our present leader. And we basically are just, the whole mission of the Planetary Society is to give the general public a voice in space exploration, so they can express what their priorities are, what they think we should do. The Planetary Society has the first citizen-funded spacecraft, LightSail 2, which is in successful orbit over a year now. We just passed the 1-year anniversary of its deployment, of its launch from the Falcon Heavy. So it's been a banner year for our society. I'm very proud of my longtime association with them. And if you don't know anything about it, I encourage you to go to www.planetary.org and check it out. And I've been
follow them on social media, right?
Hang on, everybody, hang on. Before, because I know Rich absolutely needs to jump in on this, and a lot of people really want to talk about it. I want to say, Bob, we would really love to do some kind of thing between the Planetary Society and Gays in Space. We would love to get you guys together so that we could do an event that really focuses on the science and the work that you guys are doing and have done. I think it's absolutely.
I think that's a great idea for a future in-person event, I think, versus virtual. Maybe that when we're all together again and we can all hug each other and shake hands and sit at the same table.
That'd be awesome.
That sounds great.
So I think that's a great idea, and we will talk about that, Dan, because I have your phone number.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Now
How you
Rich
got
is
the
gonna
wedding
say stuff.
invitation.
Sorry?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to again, just do a follow-up plug for all the great work that both John and Bob are doing. And especially with the Planetary Society, with Carl Sagan co-founding it, the popularization of science is incredibly important. And the part of the reason why we're going through this crisis and it's so devastating as it is because we're living in an era of anti-science. And the thing about science is it's an all or nothing enterprise. You can't just pick and choose one area of a science domain that you like, and then ignore the rest. You like maybe space and you don't like, medicine. It all goes hand in hand. So, and I'm really glad that the Planetary Society is still incredibly active during this crisis because, again, our hopes and aspirations can't end with every crisis that comes our way.
It's like saying, I love my cell phone, but I don't like the data-based research that created it. I just like my phone.
Exactly.
Leave me alone.
And if you want to follow them on social media, they are on @ExplorePlanets on Twitter. And I bet they're on Instagram too, but I just looked up the Twitter real quick.
They are on Instagram as well, and it's closer to their real name.
Oh, good. So it's a hard time sometimes getting those.
Bill tweets all the time about how how important it is to listen to science. And most recently, he had a tweet about the whole argument about kids going back to school and how the decision should be made listening to science rather than listening to politicians.
On Instagram, they are just Planetary Society.
Awesome. Thank you, Kira.
But let's talk about John's incredible work with the LA Food Bank. It is called the LA Food.
No, it's a Hollywood Food Coalition, but we did. But thank you, Bob. But we did talk about it earlier. So
okay.
I think I already did my.
You and Bonnie are heroes, and they work tirelessly, and day in and day out. It's not my work for the Planetary Society is something here and something there and all that, but they work every day to do what they do, and that's an extraordinary commitment and deserving of recognition.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Walt, let's queue up the next question from the room. And okay. I think if the next person that we bring in is up for it, we do have a trivia video that Bob and Elizabeth might be able to help someone to win the final Gaze in Space surgical mask. It's a big get, everybody. It's the last one. People have been loving these things. So let's see. Walt,
can we see the front of it? We haven't seen
it.
Yes.
Close up.
Well, they're all different. What Sarah did was she took this massive pattern, basically of like the galaxy, and then they were cut into smaller masks. So some of them are, the very close up of a planet. Some are far away. Some are space. So it's been, they're all unique because, the gaze, like snowflakes, we're all unique and special. We needed our masks to reflect that.
I'm just going to go check and see if my guests have arrived. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, you've been here a long time. You're allowed to hand off to me whenever you want.
I'm happy to stay. I just want to see my nephew and niece are coming over to dinner. I hate to miss Star Trek Voyager trivia contest. I gotta say.
Okay, Walt, who are we bringing in?
Okay, so I just brought on Rob. He seems to have his video and his microphone set, so I think that he, knows the pattern here. So, you wanted to start talking?
Hi guys. Yeah, hello everybody from Gaze in Space. I'm 2 for 2 attending your events and getting to be part of them. So my heart is exploding with joy right now. Much love to all of you, and especially my nutmeggers, because I'm also from Connecticut. I'll tell John when he gets back. But while we're waiting for John to get back, let me ask Bob. Were you a fan of Star Trek before you got cast?
I hate to be asked this question. Thank you.
I know,
decided...
but I have a follow-up because I wanted to know. All right, then don't even answer that part of it.
No, I have an answer. I have an answer.
Okay.
I decided early on at conventions, because I was asked at my very first, and I was like a deer in the headlights, and I thought, if I lie now, I will have to live with that lie for the rest of my life. So I told the truth, which was, no, I wasn't. I watched Lost in Space because I think I had a 14-year-old crush on Angela Cartwright. But I did not watch Star Trek. And more embarrassingly, when I graduated from college at 20, I moved in with two fellow students from Yale. And every afternoon at 4 p.m., they sat down to watch Star Trek. And I would walk through the living room of our apartment that we shared and make horrible fun of them. So needless to say, they're laughing at me now. But in the interim, what I have done is I have thrown myself at the feet of the fans. I have confessed my sin, and they have forgiven me, and I have seen the light. Praise Gene. And now I am a convert, and I understand the message of Star Trek.
Amen, brother.
And I promoted, and I am here to tell you that I have been saved.
Testify,
Star
brother.
Trek fan.
Testify, yes.
Welcome back, John. Fellow Nutmegger here from Stratford. Hi.
Oh, I just bought a house in Stratford. We're going to be neighbors.
Oh, then we will talk.
You have to get a drink when such things are allowed.
I'll be tweeting all y'all after this is over. So, John, first of all, one thing. Do you think Kitty Carlisle ever invited Peggy Cass to any of her society parties? Because I do not.
You know who Kitty Carlisle's husband was, I hope.
Oh, not off the top of my head, no.
Bing, 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 bing,
I
bing.
know.
I know you know. Who? Moss
Hart.
Moss Hart, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And also,
having Kitty and Peggy
come
2 seats apart, and they were such opposite women. You know, Kitty Carlisle never invited Peggy Cass to any of her high society parties.
No,
she just looked right down her nose at Peggy.
I suspect that too, but I appreciate the fact that we can have a conversation about Peggy Cass and Kitty Carlisle, because truly it was crickets until Bob came on.
Well,
we're not even.
And you're also the only person in the dozen people that have used the F-bomb since we've been here. So
I used the F-bomb?
No.
Yeah, so let me just say fuck one time, just so you are not the only one at the party.
I don't use
Is that true?
Yes, because I was paying attention.
It's terrible. It's terrible. I say this in part in jest, but it is true. My father was gay, and he was a sailor, and and an atheist. So I learned my language is so it's very hard. For me. My wife said, I'll say this one last. I'm sorry. I'm jumping on your question. Go ahead.
Now that Star Trek Picard has made that word part of Star Trek canon, is there any particular scene or line that comes to your mind where you wish Dr. Phlox could have been able to drop an F-bomb and get away with it?
This is a good question for John. Appreciate the question.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, probably every scene, you know. I mean, it's there was something in the New York Times the other day that said that people who swear more are actually more broad-minded and healthier.
Yep.
They get it out of their system. I don't know. My wife said to me once, or somebody asked me once if I'd ever go into politics, and my wife said he could never go into politics.
I couldn't either. I just curse everyone out.
No, I know. I could never, ever do it. And I have had to learn to kind of take some of my crappy language out of the, because which is hard for me, but I'm doing better. Fortunately,
I do think, though, John, that if Phlox had dropped just one F-bomb, it would have been after he denied to Paul sex in the decon chamber in that episode. You would have walked out of that thing and said, fuck, why am I such a good person? That's my guess.
Yeah. Now, what people don't realize is I love Jolene. Jolene was a big cheese eater. So that was an odoriferous experience.
Y'all.
Oh no. Telling tales out of school.
She will tell the tale about herself. In fact, the first time my wife ever heckled me was when I made the joke at a convention about just that. And my wife from the very back of the auditorium said, "Pot calling the kettle black." Yes, how she started her career as a professional heckler.
Nothing like being trashed publicly.
Yeah.
By someone who knows you
The
well.
question is Elizabeth now going to heckle Bob?
I hope so. Well, she
on,
heckles me.
on that
She's
note,
just starting to heckle me at home.
My family has arrived, so I'm going to Bob, congratulations. That's wonderful
Thank
news.
you.
Yeah.
Yes,
We will have a dinner together once we're allowed to do that. All right.
I will look forward to having dinner with all of you, everybody on this call, and all
I
the
don't think
fans
so.
all over the world. Because
Thank you, John.
Give Bonnie a smooch for me, please.
I will indeed. I will indeed. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you, Dan.
Bye, John.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Talk to you
Bye,
soon.
Three-fifths of five-year mission. Bye. Say hi to the boys in prison. Bake them a cake with a fire.
He cuts off mid-sentence.
He knows how to time an exit, doesn't he?
He does.
Ooh, he
your,
does.
Your logo's looking good there, 5-year mission. I like it.
Thanks to Chris.
I threw these together this afternoon.
He wanted
They
to
look
see
great.
uniformity.
That is a good
Well, we usually wear uniforms, but I thought that might be a little. Mike had his uniform on earlier.
I'm sitting at home. There's no way I'm getting in uniform. You're not going to ask Bob to go put on like the EMH costume.
If I had it, I'd put it on. Believe me.
Well,
it would be a great opportunity to auction it off. Don't have it.
Yeah.
I totally don't have it.
Well,
Elizabeth was trying to encourage me. On my new YouTube channel, I play the world's most obnoxious, what's the word? Gigolo, I guess. The oldest gigolo, Alfonso, on my YouTube channel. And Elizabeth wanted me to dress as Alfonso for this meeting, but I didn't do it.
Why not?
Because
he's
I guess I was
cringeworthy.
shy. I also think that Alfonso, sadly, because he's very 1970s and very, what's the word, kind of old school, sexist. I don't know how he would deal with the gays and space people. I think it would be a educational experience for him, so we may have to invite him in the future. But I warn you, he's not, what's the word? He's just not, he's not very progressive.
He's cringeworthy.
He's cringeworthy, that's it. And he's designed to be. You have to understand, if you ever seen me play this character, the assignment, when I developed him 12 years ago in a comedy troupe called the Acme Comedy Theater in LA, the assignment was to create a man who was every woman's nightmare of a guy who would sit next to her at a bar and not leave her alone. That was the goal. And I think I succeeded.
Listen, I don't even identify as a girl, and he scares me.
I've been there.
He's supposed to be the world's most self-absorbed man, and I believe that I've succeeded.
Well,
I like the latest
you,
video that just got posted. The dinner, that was fun.
Yes, I have dinner with
Good.
myself because in lockdown you can't. There's no one to act with, so I'm forced to act with myself, which is really a treat because I find myself, to be a terrific acting partner, very generous, very thoughtful, very smart, very. What's the word? Just challenging. And working with myself has been a joy that I've never experienced really with another actor.
Well, are you
other than Kate Mulgrew?
Obviously.
Of course. Are you surprised, Bob, by the fact that with COVID, we've all had to adapt and do different things and try different things? That the stuff you've been doing with YouTube has really caught on and people are really responding to it and loving it. And would you have done it had COVID not happened?
I don't think so, only because it wouldn't have occurred to me. I mean, I've made a longer format videos of Alfonso. The goal with Alfonso was to do sort of a mock travelogue show. So here was the idea. Whenever I traveled to do a convention in London or Germany or whatever, I would pack the wig and the smoking jacket and the blouse, and I would do Alfonso. The idea was that he was on the trail of the greatest lovers in history. So whatever whatever part of the world that I visited, I would either make up a great lover. But for example, when I shot one in Venice, he was on the trail of Casanova, who had been in prison in Venice in whatever century that was. When I did one in London, I did on the trail of Henry VIII as a great lover, which is kind of a dubious concept. But the idea was it would give me something to do when I traveled for conventions that would make it would be, I'm there anyway. I'm in a beautiful part of the world. So to do a kind of a mock travelogue show with this idiot character, that was the idea. So I just started doing Alfonso, and I have banked a couple of these videos in amazing locations. Well, then suddenly I'm locked down. So I called a friend in my apartment building in New York and had them ship out Alfonso in a box so that so Alfonso would give me something to do while I'm in quarantine. And Elizabeth has turned into a terrific director, a photographer, producer, prop master, etc. And we play with, it gives us something to do in our spare time while she's not practicing medicine and I'm not cooking dinner.
Well, I'm curious,
yes, there has been much
Elizabeth,
cooking
what would your reaction be had you met Alfonso? Like, if you met Alfonso before you met Bob, what things would have turned out quite different, I would imagine.
Here's who Alfonso is. If Hugh Hefner and Bob Guccione had a love child, that's Alfonso. He's baked into the sort of the Playboy, ethic of the late 60s, early 70s. He's a dinosaur. But the idea is he's a parody of that kind of a male ego. And I completely get it, and I hope everybody else gets it. If you think that anything that comes out of his mouth, anything is something that I respect or believe in, then I have to apologize to you, because he's designed completely as a send-up to show us, however bad life may be now, we've progressed a great deal since people like dinosaurs like Alfonso had a megaphone, so it's just to show us how we've progressed as a species.
I have a bit of a selfish question. Oh, I'm sorry. Continue. Go ahead.
No, that's it. But if he's offensive to anyone, if enough people go, I can't stand this, then of course I'll stop doing it.
Okay. So I have a bit of a, I don't know, maybe it's kind of selfish question. One of the first YouTube videos you put out with this guy was the shirts video. We already know that I own all of those same Old Navy shirts. So my question is, was Alfonso's reaction towards your loud shirts more towards the shirts or you in the shirts? And how would he react to me in those shirts?
That's a great question. Alfonso you have to understand that Alfonso has, what's the word? Disdain for everything that Robert likes. So whatever it is, whether it's my cooking or my clothes or whatever. So he believes that he just feels sorry for his American cousin. And again, he's a completely fictional character, nothing to do with anybody in my family in Italy or in America. But yes, he disdains Robert's stupidity and bad taste. However,
I'm not gonna lie. I was terrified. I was gonna be wearing the same shirt as you tonight again.
Well, where's your Gays in Space shirt? Come on.
It's over. The bow tie. Come on.
We were in the
Here
same
is rocking the bow tie. You got to up your game now.
You can't get in.
You have all of the same shirts that I have from Old Navy?
Yeah, except the jellyfish one. But yes, I have the pineapples. I have the blue flamingos. I have the pink flamingos. I have the chameleons.
I don't think I have the pink flamingos, do I? Or do
yes,
I?
you do.
Oh, you do. I have a picture. I have a picture of you.
The flamingos didn't make it into quarantine with me in California.
We wanted the tiger, the orange tiger one, but we couldn't get it.
At the Scour eBay.
Old Navy should pay me. I'm the best.
Yeah.
I am the most.
I actually have a group of friends that gave me money to go find a shirt that you didn't have so that I could not be wearing the same things you were.
And is that what you're wearing tonight?
No, this is an Old Navy shirt.
It is an Old Navy shirt.
Yeah.
I don't have that one, but it looks good. I like it.
Thank you.
I like
What
the
is it?
pink
What
bow
are the
tie.
figures? I can't see
It's,
what the figures.
it's palm trees
With
Oh, yeah.
tropical pink flowers.
You know, I do have an Old Navy palm tree one, but it's just white on black. It's got no color.
All right.
The
Well,
louder the
great.
better,
I own a
Rob.
shirt you don't have. Good. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. And you also you have a lot of things. You have hair I don't have. You have cool glasses I don't have. You got a lot of things I don't have.
You have cool glasses. What the hell are you talking about?
No, I think yours are cooler, but thank you.
Got to get some of those, you know, you got to get a little hipster dark
Yeah,
green
mine
there,
are not.
Bob.
Mine are strictly 1964.
Well, mine aren't corrective lenses. They actually filter blue light because I can't stare at screens.
Oh, okay.
Really?
So,
Interesting.
I just saw Andy's background of the doctor singing.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
I had to switch it up, Bob.
Oh
Nice.
my God. There I am. Look at the size of that mouth.
You're about to take a chunk out of your head.
That's what I'm waiting for. Lobotomy is free now.
I was famous in college. I could stick my entire hand in my mouth. I can't do it anymore. My hand got bigger, and my mouth, believe it or not, got slightly smaller. But there was a time when that was my party gag, folks. You'll have to take it on faith.
Do you listen to the Garrett and Robbie's podcast, the Delta Flyers, because they actually mentioned the size of your hands in their last episode?
Yeah, no, my hands are huge. Look at that. I should be president.
There you go.
Now, I'll tell you a story. On the Wonder Years, when I played that idiot coach Cutlip, I have absolutely no athletic skills. Ask anyone who knows me. The one thing I can do is palm a basketball. Because it's not an easy thing to do. You have to have a big hand. And I'm not a terribly big man to have such large hands. So over those 12-year-old kids, all I did was palm the ball and put it, you know, and sort of like hypnotize them with that. And that, I have to say, that was to have only one skill in athletics and to get to display it so prominently in an episode. And I believe that was the episode I got an Emmy nomination for. So these hands must have helped in some way.
Yeah, talk about good acting, because
Now it's recorded for all posterity.
Mm-hmm. Well, and some people put like glue on their hands to palm a ball if you're doing it on film. They put crazy glue or whatever. Didn't have to do it. But having said that, I can't palm my own head because that's really big.
Elizabeth is like,
Rob,
So if I'm buying
Rob,
him a
thanks
hat,
you.
I find a hat that fits me, but is too big.
There you go.
So yeah, and then I can buy a hat that'll fit him.
Elizabeth is still getting used to the fact, because she comes from the medical profession, that I'll say absolutely anything publicly. She still is, you know, it's an adjustment for her. She's used to people, you know, stating facts and all that. And I have no time for that.
Filtering? You have no filter.
I have no filter, exactly.
Rob, thank you so much for your question. Before you go, though, we want to send you something. I think you might have won. Have you already won a Gaze in Space quarantine mask?
I have not, no.
You have not. Okay, well then that's what you're about to win, sir.
Okay.
Rich, play
I have to present it. Don't I present it?
Well, we have to see if you can answer it first.
Answer the trivia question.
Yeah, if you get it right, then Rob wins. If you don't, then Rob can try to
You're asking,
give us the answer.
so his future's in my hands. Good luck with that.
It is, sir. It is.
Okay. All right.
Rich, play the first Voyager one. That is still
I love that
one
actor.
of.
I love that
God.
clip.
Yep.
That is still one of my all-time favorites, favorite Doctor moments, Bob, because that is just such perfect delivery of that line. And we were saying, I was talking with Mike Diamond on his podcast, Fire Chakotay. We did that episode, Basics Part 2, and they pointed out to me how the Doctor and Seska were kind of having like a super bitchy gay argument, like, you know, like really like throwing shade and sass at each other back and forth. And that is what started it. I thought that it was just hilarious.
I haven't seen that in a long time, but I'm happy to see. She's a terrific actress. I hadn't seen her in years. And then about 2 or 3 years ago, we were at a convention together somewhere. And I got to reconnect with her and talk. I think we were even on the karaoke stage together. So
She showed up as an imposter on Anthony Anderson's To Tell the Truth last season. She was one of the liars. Yeah, and she was great. She got a couple of votes. But the whole time we were watching it, I'm like, that's Martha Hackett, you idiot.
I like this guy. I like that Seska, that they introduced a cool bad guy like that, in the fact that she had infiltrated. I love that. I really enjoy that two-parter, and I really like that.
She's probably our most famous villain. I mean, from that created on our show. Not you can't count Q because
or the Borg Queen.
Or the Borg Queen that came from elsewhere, but she's as popular as any villain that we created on Voyager.
Well, and it was
go ahead.
No, yeah, no, it was great too because they also made good use of the Maquis storyline with her, which had not gone used in any other situation.
Right, and she basically duped Chakotay into a love affair, right, or something like that.
Yeah, talk about needing to fire him, right?
And now, what was the question?
Okay, so here's the question. What was Seska originally looking for when she entered sickbay?
Ooh.
Easy money. Come on.
They said it in the scene. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're both blanking?
I can give you a hint. Whatever it was damaged on a recent away mission and left behind.
Oh, no, it wasn't the mobile emitter. It was
Yeah, he didn't have it yet.
No, that was before the mobile emitter. Yeah. Oh, see now.
I can come in with a save if you need me to.
Oh, you my lifeline, my hometown lifeline?
Yes, Connecticut connection.
Wait, hang on. I think Bob's still thinking.
No, not a cortical stimulator. Oh man, Tech, you're gonna hit me with technobabble.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Thoron emitter.
Yes.
There it is.
Yay.
Yes. Who got that? Elizabeth got that.
Elizabeth got that. Hey, why the hell did you get married anyway?
Oh man.
You get married for someone to improve you.
Awesome. Well, Rob, thanks to Elizabeth and Bob, you're getting the very last Gaze in Space surgical mask. You're also getting a Gaze in Space keychain and a new Gaze in Space magnet. We're gonna send.
Yay!
And a Thoron emitter.
Oh boy!
And the Thoron emitter.
Oh,
yeah. Woo. We just can't stop giving stuff.
You have a pile of those Thoron emitters sitting around.
I do indeed.
Awesome, Rob. Thank you again so much for being with us, and congrats.
Thank you all. And would I hang around and give Walt or Rich my info?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Rob, we'll be in touch with you after the show. And
if you contact us through Facebook, we'll send.
Drop your email.
We'll take care of it.
Okay.
Bob,
I'll find you.
Bob, do you have time for one more fan question?
One more fan question, and then I will have to. Bye. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bob and Elizabeth. Stay safe, please.
Thank you. Same to you. I do have time for one more.
One more. All right. Walt.
Okay. So here we have Tiffany Sobzak. She was super patient the entire time. And I'm glad that she's able to come on. So you might have to unmute. There you go.
Sorry, I got kicked out as you did that, so I had to come back in.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny because I was going to tease our panelists about, because I've been at the GalaxyCon stuff, everyone that John and Robert have done, which has been awesome, by the way. And, but my question is, you talked about this today, and I kind of want to go more into it. You were talking about your question about giving the doctor sexuality and how you had issue with that. I'd love to hear you expand on that more because we ran out of time. Because I agree with you 100%. That did not make sense with him or with Data or a lot of them.
Yeah, well, I completely agree. In fact, I used to do a series of jokes at early Star Trek conventions. I guess it would have had to have been after Message in a Bottle because of that joke where the doctor brags openly to the EMH Mark II. He says, I have this thing called a mobile emitter, so I'm not confined to sick bay. And he said, I fraternize with the crew. I've even had sexual relations. And Andy Dick, with his hilarious expression, sort of bugs his eyes out and says, but we're not equipped. And I said, let's just say I've made an addition to my program. And then he says, faster than a human being can speak. Maybe when all this is over, you can download those subroutines into my database, which is all, it's all, you know, what's the word, guys? It's all polite speech for, you have a dick? Well, maybe you can give me one. And when I read the script, as I said this afternoon, I called the producer and said, what is this? I said, I'm an emergency medical hologram. I'm designed for emergency medical use. Why would I be anatomically correct? Why would I need a penis? What kind of emergency medical procedures are you thinking about? I mean, I suppose I could have been.
There could have been a pond far emergency. That's the only thing I could think of.
Reach for a joke. And I'm not sure that I really liked the joke. And I got no satisfactory answer whatsoever when I spoke to the producers. So yes, I think it's an anomaly. However, that is one of the funniest Voyagers we ever did. Andy Dick was hilarious. The day I met him on the set, this is the first thing he said to me. He said, your name Picardo is so close to Captain Picard. I said, do you get teased for that a lot? I said, wait a minute. Your name is Andy Dick and you're gonna make fun of mine? And then after I said that, we got along fine. I have to say this, I was nervous that, you know, I knew we were gonna get a lot of attention for this episode because it was so much like, you know, it was so much like Frasier and Niles from what do you call it, Frasier. But I was a little concerned that the close-up box in the TV guide, you know, page, if they profiled the episode, I was wondering what they were going to say, like Picardo and Dick inseparable. Picardo handles Dick adroitly. Picardo loves Dick. These were all things that were running through my mind, but apparently they just called us the Frasier and Niles in space, so it all worked out fine.
I have to say I love that episode. And watching it, I was maybe 14 or 15 when I saw that episode, and I just thought it was a big hoot, and I loved it. So
it was very, and I got more lines in that show because I used to submit jokes. I got more jokes in that show than any other one. I think I clocked 5, including my favorite one of all 7 years of Star Trek, when Andy Dick is leaning over me while the doctor.
That's my favorite too. That's my favorite too.
And the original scripted line was simply me saying, "Stop breathing down my neck." And the following 2 lines I submitted to the writers. He kind of chortles and says, "My breathing is merely a simulation," and I say, "So is my neck. Stop it anyway." Now that's pretty good hologram humor when you think about it, right?
That's great.
If you're a projection bitching to another projection.
You know, you didn't have a bad joke. You really didn't have a bad joke at all.
Well, thank you. I think the bad ones were the ones I submitted that they didn't put in, but thank you.
And that was, Tiffany, I just have to say, such a perfect question to end on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I don't usually get to make 3 dick jokes in a row, but that's what I love about this group. I can say whatever I want, right?
Well, you know, in your own book, you wrote that it took at least 26 scenarios to tell to Captain Janeway in order to make you anatomically correct. So
no, I think
there were
it was
still, there were still
when
187 left.
I thought there, oh, that's right. And I also talked about the first 20 times that I tried my newest upgrade on the holodeck, things proved successful. Yes, yeah, there are many very tasteful penis and orgasm jokes in the Holograms Handbook. Thank you for noticing.
Very tasteful.
If you don't have this book, guys, you're missing out.
We got to say goodbye.
Yes.
We love you all. Thank you for having us.
Bye,
Bob,
guys.
thank you so much. Everybody, Bob has been doing so many of these Zoom things. Like Tiffany said, he's been at GalaxyCon. but he makes the time for us. And Elizabeth, you're right there. We love seeing you. We love you both and appreciate you both so much. Thank you so much for being with us.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Be well. Stay safe, everybody.
Stay safe.
You too. Okay, now what we have is we have a little bit of a treat for those of you who are fans of 5-Year Mission. That's right, guys. I have not forgotten about you. You are still in the room now. I would like to share something with the audience that has only heretofore been seen by close personal friends. This is how Gaze in Space met 5-Year Mission.
Oh my God. Oh, we haven't even seen this.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, so it needs just a tiny bit of setup. This was 2013. We're there at the convention. I was there doing press interviews. 5-Year Mission was there doing 5-Year Mission. And I suddenly was presented with the opportunity to film on the set, the recreation of the set of the original series Enterprise. And I had 45 minutes to figure out what the hell I was going to do with it. So 5-Year Mission, as you guys know, you've seen them. They are in original series uniforms, the good ones. Like, they look really good. So I didn't know them yet. I just knew that they looked the part. They were very friendly. And I was like, let me see. So I went over to the table. I was like, hey guys, would you like to film something with me? Dan, Gaze in Space. No, at the time it was CinemaSource. You don't know me. You don't know what I'm about.
Yeah.
But, and We Want Worf was happening then. Exactly. Do you want to film something with me? And they were like, yeah, great. We start walking over. They're like, what is it? I was like, I'm not sure yet. So here is the edited video. This is a promo video that we filmed for a now defunct energy drink company. Why no one has ever seen it? Because they wouldn't pay us for it.
Yeah, these gems are great.
Oh,
yeah.
I cannot wait to hear my audio.
It's surprisingly good. All right, Rich, mute everybody and then hit it.
Captain, we have an incoming transmission. Something about
a new energy drink?
I don't know. I'm seeing images on screen. What are we looking at?
Captain, it seems that Gen X is the healthier alternative energy drink that the world has been waiting for.
We're going to need more data. We're going to need more information on this. What are we seeing? Are we seeing the future? Are we seeing the past? All indications, sir, point to the future. This is a transmission from the future.
It appears at some point in the near future, Gen X will become famous for creating an energy drink that is not harmful to humans.
But how?
The makers of Gen X have taken out harmful chemicals like aspartame and replaced them with all natural ingredients. Captain, I think we may be looking at the future of energy drinks.
Yeah, right.
Changing the course of history. The data confirms it's also delicious.
Well, clearly it got the job done if this is the future we're looking at. I can't believe it worked.
Wow.
Is that seriously, Andy, that's the first time you've seen it?
That's the first time I've gotten to see that, yeah.
I've seen some of it, but the voiceovers I did weren't in there. But when I saw it before.
Okay, yeah.
Now, a little side note is for the people that have been following 5-year mission for a few years. The whole FARC is unimpressed meme came from this shoot with the.
Yeah.
And it was also the laugh that you gave with the dude actually is what makes that whole video work. Because we didn't know what we were filming, what we were talking about. We were actually really focusing on promoting the We Want Wharf campaign.
Yeah.
And that's what we were saying. But then afterwards, this energy drink company was like, we want some of that. So I thought, I know how to edit, let's see. And then we did some post with voiceovers and stuff. So Chris said things that he didn't actually say. We were able to sync up the whole delicious thing because it was the combination of the mini muffins from Wharf to the energy drink. So things kind of lined up, but I think what makes that entire video work, just as a little thing, is your reaction there to impossible.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
I could still do this. Put it in post.
There you go.
I have a quick question. Where was that shot at? Was it at that like Star Trek?
Star Trek
tour
Las
thing
Vegas.
So in Vegas, they
okay,
do
okay.
photo ops, and they'll have sets that you can pay extra to take pictures with the actor on the actual set. So they have a tent forward, and they have an original bridge, and they sometimes when the
and all that,
they have the Borg alcoves where you can regenerate. You don't know what any of that is because you're not a Trekkie.
Yeah, but that's
catch up, man.
It's cool,
Yeah.
man. It's cool.
the burn. Yeah, no. I that's a pretty impressive sets. So,
Yes, the sets are very good.
You know, and it all looks really good.
Yeah, very much so. And see, it ends with to be continued because there is, in fact, a part 2. And the part 2, I just never got to edit because the company screwed us. And I was like, well, I can't do any more. So I tried to perfect that one part. But the second part, you know, little spoiler, it ends with a double Captain Kirk moment between me and Patrick.
Yeah.
And Patrick, his delivery of the famous "I'm Captain Kirk" line is hilarious and dead on.
And so loud.
One day I will edit that together for everybody. But I just wanted to share that with everybody because that is why 5-year mission is with us today. This is why we've been pals for so long. And thank you guys.
Thank you, Dan.
I think we have one of your super fans watching, Debbie.
Is it
who's a
Debbie?
Super fan, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, can we bring Debbie in?
Yeah, bring
no.
Debbie in.
Oh, great.
Debbie, you're great. Get ready. Actually,
Debbie.
about 25% of your audience tonight is from our Friday night call. I think Amber and Andrea and Shay and Jesse and Morgan, everybody's here. The party.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just, last night, the Guac and Fries weekly call, I decided, you know what, I want to pop in. I want to say hi. And Amy was there, so, there's Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Unmute yourself, Debbie.
Yeah, you're on mute.
There we go.
Love you guys.
Mike, you're muted too. Mike, you keep talking and you're muted. There you go.
There he goes.
There we go. So, Debbie, I'm curious, what did you think of your boys there up on the TOS bridge?
That was awesome. I love the raspberry. That was super cool. But yeah, I'd heard the story of that for a long time, but I'd never gotten to see the footage. So
you and me both.
Kind of fun to see it. But yeah, I have a question for 5-year mission since I've got 60% of you on the spot.
Sure.
That math's right. Yeah.
Of course, the math's right. You know what
Your
I
math
do.
teacher.
You're a math teacher.
So when do we get teasers from year 5?
Oh,
Please, with the raspberry again.
Oh, see, that's
Let's
the
just-
law of
let's just
comedy.
put it
He
this
keeps
way.
bringing it
That's
back.
right.
Well done, Fark.
Let's put it this way.
Monty Python.
There's 4 of us that write the songs, and one of us is the only one that has even submitted any as a demo. So that's how far along we are on year 5.
Way to throw him under the bus. I respect that.
You like that?
I have the year one preview ready to go.
I heard it on the most recent.
Well, we also have supplemental material from our Kickstarters, and one of which is an alternate version of City on the Edge of Forever. And I think Mr. Fark is doing that.
Yep.
Nice.
So he's a little behind schedule on that too.
So I know you haven't got it to plug, but I'm just going to do it for you since nobody's let you. Those of you who don't know, these guys are awesome. And just listening to their songs doesn't really like give you the full view of their clever lyrics. So I highly recommend going to the lyrics page too and really getting like the full experience. Sorry if I'm embarrassing you or being too
No, not at all. We love it. Bring it on.
That's all on 5yearmission.net.
That's right, dang it.
You know, we should also probably
patron
mention,
is awesome.
we should probably also mention that we have a Patreon now that we just started a few months ago. Well, a couple months ago, maybe.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
We have been dropping a lot of never before seen video and images. And just yesterday, we have, I don't know if you know this, Andy, we have play sets. And we have 3, they're just little paper cutouts of us, and we put those up. We used to sell them, and we don't really sell them anymore, so we just put them up for free PDFs on our Patreon for anybody who's patronizing us, I guess.
For basically for anybody who wants to print them out and then play with us.
Yeah.
I recommend printing them on the magnetic paper so you can have little magnets. I've had a set for a long time.
Yeah.
I also think it's really important to note exactly what Debbie said. Like, you're not getting the full 5-year mission experience if you're not there, but also if you're not really paying attention, because I don't know how many of our viewers noticed the comic bit that Mike did. In the middle of other people talking, he went off camera and then just stuck his head back in camera and then back out, which was really a commentary on the fact that he had been speaking and no one had heard him because he was muted. That's the kind of comic genius you're dealing with these people, folks. I just had to put that out
He didn't even mean it that way. He was embarrassed that he hadn't written a year 5 song yet.
Oh, he ran away.
Mm-hmm.
The rumor has it, Debbie, rumor has it, and this is coming from Noah. Noah tells me that he's written 4 or 5 songs. He just doesn't like any of them.
Well, no one will know since he's like in the woods and there's no contact from the forest.
Noah tends to write many songs, and we hear like a very small fraction of them. And sometimes he'll send us a demo, and our reaction won't be over the top. We'll just, oh yeah, that's pretty good. And then he'll just come back with another one a few days later and say, you know what, I didn't like that one either.
That one good.
Another one.
It's perfect or there's nothing.
Yes, that's
Perfectionist is in his soul. That's how he is. He's a perfectionist.
Patrick's pretty prolific as well. He writes a ton of songs. I don't know that, I think he has,
but he also has like
Andy froze.
Oh, you froze, Andy. Say it again.
Were you going to say that he has 3 other bands?
Oh, yes. No, like 12 other bands.
Oh, is it 12 now?
Something like that. I don't know.
I know they were performing today, which is part of the issue.
Yeah, I think that's why he couldn't join. Noah, I don't know. I think I don't know why
he in the woods.
Noah's just lost in the woods somewhere as per usual.
Yeah.
Well,
like literally.
How are things in your home state there? How are you guys doing?
We just had, I think I was reading somewhere where DHS showed up this weekend.
What?
And so, yeah, and so
Homeland Security?
A lot of people who are organizing events or protesting, they put out a call to say, hey, be careful. And also, I know a lot of my wife was telling me she saw a lot of these people who had events posted. They pulled those down so that they wouldn't. They're still having the events, but they don't want people to easily see that they have them.
Yeah, they're going like and instead of doing all the planning on social media, they're just doing like email chains and things like that. So then so then we don't wind up with another situation like what's going on in Portland right now.
Yeah.
So central Indiana is relatively progressive, really, but all the outlying areas are very Republican, and so we have this little pocket of
right around Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So you're like
Indianapolis,
a little
Bloomington.
blue dot, right?
Yeah, right.
It's like Austin, just Austin, and then the
Yeah.
rest of Texas.
It is
Pretty much,
literally,
yeah.
when you see the election maps, that's really what it looks like. There's this little blue area, and then the rest is red. So it's
like a weird little like a little democratic pimple.
Yeah.
A democratic pimple. I
Don't
like
let it pop.
Exactly.
Grow.
Major Kira said it best, boys. A light only shines in the dark. So thank you for being that light that is shining in all of that darkness right there.
We're definitely.
That was pretty good, right, everybody? That was pretty good.
That was real nice. Oh, good job, Andy.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're definitely not shy about our politics.
No.
Can you guys talk a little bit about how you put together the video that we shared tonight?
Yeah.
Because I am not alone in saying it was freaking amazing. It was so well produced, well edited. And Chris, I'm sorry, man. When you hit that note, you're beautiful. I mean, I'm yours if you want. That's how beautiful the voice is and the delivery. Can you guys talk about how you pulled all that together for us?
First of all, I want to make a comment on the song itself. The song is about this episode, and it's really about, if you've seen the episode, there's this being who is in a box and who is purportedly so hideous that if you look on this, he's an ambassador, right? I don't know if you can really give it a gender, but I think they do in the episode. It's like Koloth or Kolos or something like that. But anyway, it's this idea where, you know, this entity has a person that travels with it, and they have this interesting relationship where she can't see him because she's blind. Spoiler alert. But the idea is that this entity is secretly in love with her, and she kind of overtly is in love with him, and it's just kind of this unrequited love thing because he doesn't believe she'll ever be in love with him because of his hideousness. Well, the meaning for me has evolved, and it's about, to me, and I say this when we play it, is that it's about this universal idea that it doesn't matter who you love. You know, everyone is beautiful in their own way, and finding the person who sees you in that way is all that matters. And so, you know, I like to clarify that because it was about one thing, but it has kind of evolved in my mind. So, but the video,
Jesus,
what we did is we did it I actually recorded the acoustic guitar and the vocal at my house, and I used a click track. For those of you who are not musicians and may not know what that means, it's basically this clicking in your ear. That's why we have headphones on, so you can keep the beat. Am I boring you, Andy?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Just checking.
But anyway, I sent that out to everybody, and then everybody picked up, you know, played their part along to me, and then Mike really did the work. He's the one that had to take all the craziness and put it together. And because I forgot to count it off before I started, so he had to figure out where it started.
Oh no.
So yeah,
you sounded great.
Thank you.
And that's not easy to do, and from a digital production standpoint.
It was fun. We're gonna do more.
Yay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Calm down, Debbie.
I like it.
Pumped.
True to FARC form, you, sir, bring the comedy, because as we're listening to this really, you know, emotional, deep, oh, this is making me feel things song and video, you're making faces. You're doing your FARC thing, and
that's
man,
my job.
It's part of the secret sauce you guys have. So well done.
Well, because most of the time with drummers, nobody ever seems to remember the drummer. So I have to do stupid shit
is a lie.
in
Drummers
the background
are like famous
to make sure that people remember who the hell I am.
It's kind of hard to forget you. You're very tall, and you have this excellent.
You're very
bark
tall.
hair.
That's the first thing that comes
well,
up.
I am tall.
That's
And
what
it is. Well, I'm tall, and it's nice to see a nice tall gentleman. There you go. Thank you.
The possibility of Andy Fark being forgotten is really not high on the priority list, folks, because it's not going to happen, sir. You leave an indelible, wonderful impression. So I mean, you got pins, for God's sakes. Come on.
Henry.
The doggy's barking. He
back.
doesn't agree. He doesn't agree. He's like,
He doesn't agree at all.
He hasn't given me food and walkies, and it's very offensive.
Well,
like
Mommy's the
Archie.
one that gave him walkies earlier, so. Henry, come here.
Oh, that is not a small dog.
No, that's a large dog.
Oh no, this is my
moose?
other dog, the pit bull.
How big is he?
Hey, Walt.
97 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What's up?
Walt, do we have anyone else with their hands raised? Anybody else with a question we can bring into the chat?
Yeah, we have Marjorie Nadler. Let's promote Marjorie. You might see a
let's
pop
do
up
it.
that says unmute or whatever. But
Dan, as we're waiting for Marjorie, I am gonna sign off. I do have to work early. in the
Why is your
morning.
camera not on? I don't know. It says our audio's on. You touch your screen.
We can hear you, Marjorie.
We can hear you.
Okay, here we go. Great. Thanks for that.
There.
Awesome.
Wait, there we go.
Marjorie,
I made it go away. All right.
Guys, pause for 1 second. Kira has to leave us.
Yeah.
So, Kira, thank you so much for being
Bye.
with us. As always,
Thank
everybody.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, 5 Year Mission. Your song was awesome. So
Thank
if you ever want to do a collab, I'm available. So.
Oh, you got us. Little guest vocals. Little guest vocals.
All right.
Oh my God.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Kira. Thank you. All right, Marjorie, how's it going?
Good. Oh, and it's pronounced Marguerite.
So a hard G.
Marguerite, yeah. Or you can call me
Hard
Peggy.
G.
Peggy.
That's my
Peggy's
fault. I should
way
apologize because I set the ball in motion of saying your name incorrectly. But
Oh, no. Wow, and she even made you this sign.
shucks.
Fan club.
For Walt's memory.
Five Year Mission has some competition over here.
I do enjoy that we're on here, and I definitely spend all day cooking. I'm like hobo dressing, very comfortable. So end of the night.
Quarantine. Don't worry.
No,
about it.
I actually have a shirt I just bought from it's called Mess in a Bottle. They're a local Baltimore Black-owned business. They're super dope, and it says it's a long shirt dress, and it says, "I love this shirt so much I forgot my pants."
Well, what's your name? We have Marguerite / Peggy. What's your name?
I'm Elise or Elle, and I've been on a couple of these.
You look
now.
very familiar, yes.
Yeah, I got to spend time talking to Connor and Dom after Dom, I think, got a concussion because he surfs danger style. So
Have you been on the Sid City? The social club? Oh no, Alexander Siddig's been doing some social club.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's every Tuesday and Friday. Not to pimp someone else's event during Gays in Space like that, but you look familiar. You look familiar.
It's all love in the Star Trek community, everybody. It is all love. Everybody needs to come together and promote each other. The Sid City thing, I think is amazing that Sid is doing that. And the thing that makes his events different from most others is that he brings people on the way that we do, where you get to actually see the actor and you can talk, but he does it specifically for almost the purpose of him kind of interviewing you and getting to know you and your life. And, because of time constraints, he can only talk to maybe, 4 people or, 3 or 4 people, whatever, but he does it in depth, and it's very personal and very, I just feel so respectful of the fans, and you can tell that he really enjoys the fact that he gets to know the fans in the way that he's able. So
Genuinely interested.
Yeah, major props to him for doing that. Kate, of course, Kate Mulgrew, she did her, Amy, what was it called?
She did a Cocktails with Kate she wanted to hear from fans and hear from people around the world about the pandemic and their response. And, people wrote in. We had over 2,000, there were a lot people writing in and talking, and she would pick 6 to 8 people every week, and we'd hear from them. Our second to last one was a group of lovely high school students who were all affected graduation wise. They had to be class of 2020 and couldn't have their prom and couldn't have their their big play that there were some drama kids in there, and it was really insightful, and just gave me so much hope, that these kids they're engaged and they're active and they're politically savvy and they're going to change the world. So it was a really nice. I mean, we had so many great people. That was just one example.
And that's, the other thing that's great about that is it's free, right?
It was completely free, and that was important. Free. Yeah, that was important to her. She knew everybody had been affected in one way or the other, and
yeah. And Sid City is free.
Yeah.
Whenever Gaze in Space does one of these, we do a $1 donation, and the reason that we ask for that is for just to make sure that this is a secure Zoom meeting, a secure space. So by spending the $1, we know who everybody is. We know that, you're not a bot or a bad guy. We know that you're one of us and you're here for the right reasons. So our events are just $1.
Yeah, pay what you will, and you have so many great, organizations that you're putting a donation to every week. So it's it's a great way I think the Star Trek fans have really mobilized and tried to create great content for each other in a time when we're all kind of just stuck at home and having our drinkies by ourselves.
Exactly. That's why I say, within the community, promote, because there are so many great things going on. And you know what? Who among us does not need another couple of hours where you're smiling and laughing and you're like, they get me.
Yeah.
So
we got
absolutely.
People from everywhere. So where are you calling from, Marguerite and Elle?
We're in Baltimore.
And
that's great. My husband's from Ellicott City, so.
Oh yeah, that's only like 10 minutes from here.
I feel like that most
I'm
people.
originally from New York, and I always want to come to an event up there, but I mean, so you could take the train from Penn Station, but I don't want to go alone, and it's I don't know, we're kind of introverts, so it was hard. But also, for a long time, I was paralyzed, so I couldn't travel. And seeing, I've seen the spread of people who have been on here, both internationally, some people who are both visibly disabled or not, but that doesn't mean they might not have some kind of hidden illness. And it's obviously made Gaze in Space very accessible. And I was aware of the fact you were already transitioning to trying to do online events anyway before COVID kicked in, because I saw some of the commentary. Discord won't turn off on my phone, so I have to keep deleting the app, but I'll see some of the conversation in Discord. So I was kind of aware, because I'd been trying to get out of my house anyway. I'm not great about that, to come up there. So that was something that it had been on my list. And so when I saw the first digital event, as the pandemic had said, and I was like, oh, we should make a donation to this, because this is that thing I was telling you about to her. And so it's really great getting to see people I suspect who all over the world, or for physical reasons or other reasons, couldn't participate. It's been really great, because I also suspect there are people who, I know you said something, there's 100 people watching this right now, or what have you. I suspect those people are not, that some of them might never have gone out to an event even without the pandemic. And by the way, 5-Year Mission, your music was so gorgeous. So my partner does not always, he feels a little funny sometimes sitting down when there's our big group chat things. He's not a big Zoom person. And he actually stayed in here the whole time after dinner, and he also thought your music was just absolutely beautiful. So it was really great getting to share that, because they are someone that also loud sounds. There's something wrong with my partners in their ears. So sometimes when we go out to club scenes, that can be very difficult for them. So they also got to enjoy your music. And so it's interesting that while this is a very difficult and not wonderful time, especially in USA, that it is connecting people I don't think would have ever gotten to enjoy this side of Trek. So I'm really appreciative of both the fact you guys are doing that, but also taking the money and donating it. That was something when she told me, because I was in the kitchen, when she mentioned that you guys were donating money and what John had been talking about. I thought that was really wonderful, because street youth, and I had grown up with a lot of housing and other insecurities in my life. That is a big deal to me. So that's a big part of my heart. So that also meant a lot that you guys do that too. Well,
I'd love to meet you guys in person sometime. That because you're in Baltimore and I'm down there when normally we'd be down there a couple times a year. So you know.
I'm pretty sure that you were hosting a panel at like one of the Shore Leave.
Shore Leave? Yeah, if you've been to Shore Leave.
Her as her Troy cosplay on another chat we were on.
Awesome! Yay!
So we have definitely crossed paths before.
Yes,
so
yes, and
we will hitch you up one day when we can leave our houses again.
y'all should come to Shore Leave next year. Like we should get.
We went last year. I was the apparently known as the short to Paul because I'm like 4'11", 5 foot.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, and she was the super banging Troy because she's amazing.
I do remember seeing an awesome Troy, and I bet that was you. You're just not in your full. Oh,
I had so much hair.
Yeah,
so
the full wig and the. You were in the blue dress. Is that the one you did? Yes. Yep. Okay. Good. I do remember.
She always thinks her. She's like, because I picked the wig out and I did her hair. She said, do you think it's too much? I was like, never enough.
Never enough. Exactly. Never. Need the dramatic makeup that Marina was rocking. You know.
Oh yeah.
Marina even recognized her. I bought her as a surprise one of the like 2-minute chats. And I pulled up a picture of us from many years ago in our street clothes when we met Marina. And then I was like, and this is us meeting Michelle. And she's like, oh, you look amazing. Weren't you hurt when I met you before? And you look great in your picture with Michelle. I was like, dude, that was like 15 years. Marina.
She has a good memory for that stuff. I have to say.
And Marina complimented her. And I was like, your Troy's dope. That's what I told you.
Well, I also, I have to say, Elle, I'm so happy that you said that you shared that about, because this is the heart of Star Trek, which is we're in a bad time. There's no way around it. Times are not good right now, but so many of us are trying to find the way to bring a positive, to, have something that we can look to and say, when we look back on it and we tell our kids or our grandkids about the year of the mulligan, we can at least tell them, but you know what the year of the mulligan brought us? It brought us these incredibly, intimate chats between, heroes that we have grown up, adoring. The Star Trek actors being willing to come in and chat with us and connect with the fans in a way that does not require anyone to travel anywhere. Because I do
And we get to meet people like you guys, though, because, like, I've watched you host all of these, and it's like, I feel like I need to hug Dan, even though he has no idea who I am. And, like, I can't wait.
Dan's a hugger. You can hug him in real life.
I already know that 5-Year Mission, you can get their music on Amazon, y'all, because I literally was like, where can we find them? We looked it up immediately because that song gave me feelings, and she will tell you that, like, she waits until my narcolepsy has me so messed up, you don't know if what my feelings are because I'm kind of broken. And I had, like, actual feelings. And I was very impressed. Number one, electric keyboard. Big fan. I'm not sure. I don't think the person who played electric keyboard, are they on here? No. They're not on here, are they? Of course.
That's Noah.
I thought that was pretty cool. But also to sync up 4 people, unless you faked it, that recorded it at home. That's all so real. Hard. Like, and then being like, by the way, we're gonna play this for John Billingsley and Robert Picardo. Hope you're down with that. Do your best take. You've got 1 week or whatever. Like,
well, we actually had Billingsley on our podcast like a few months ago, and he was a hell of an interview. I'll say that.
He continually surprises. Yes.
We met John actually at a Gaze in Space event
in Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago, right?
We made the connection, and we ended up talking to him for a while, and got his information, and just kind of maintained a relationship. And then we got the podcast started, and we said, hey, let's see if Billingsley will do it. And he was all for it.
Just
he's great like that.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's also been so great in, Gaze in Space has been around for a little over 4 years now. And the progression of events and things that we do, I mean, initially, I thought it was going to be one party, one and done. I had no idea it would be this. So as we've, progressed and gone on, fans and even people who don't know Gaze in Space but know Star Trek have started to hear about us, and it's become way less of a gay thing. Because people realize that, yeah, it's gays in space that's presenting this.
Yeah, but it's just fun and you guys throw a good party.
Everybody. Exactly, like 5-year mission. I mean, I'm still holding out that they're fluid, but I'm pretty sure most of them are straight, if not all. Okay, they're all straight, but it doesn't matter.
You can't have
like,
all the hot men, Dan.
Really? All right.
You have Wilson Cruz, okay?
Rich is just burning him with lasers right now. Like,
No.
well, and that's, you know, she really loved the video you shared because she used to work in the film industry in New Mexico. And there's so many things that never get out of production.
Yeah.
And so I leaned in.
It's lost in its, I always love when like the, you know, stuff that you thought was in the graveyard forever just pops back up many, many years later. It's so fun. So
Oh, yeah.
cool to show
That I can tell you that video shows up on my TV screen generally once a year or so, maybe no, 2 or 3 times a year, and it's usually when I'm like, I've done nothing with my life. What have I done? What have I accomplished? And then I watch that, I'm like, you know what? That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
We all get that feel.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we think we're not doing enough.
I hope, but
I think you've done pretty good.
I think we've done good.
Thank you. Well, you guys stick with us. Don't anybody go anywhere. Walt, do we have anybody else with hands raised that want to jump into the chat? And yeah, I know we are already super over time, which is what always happens. And Rich has made me promise for a hard out at 11. So it's 10:43. So
I'm actually gonna hop off right now. So.
Thank you
Andy,
for your music.
Thank you,
dogs
Andy.
Need to potty.
Bye, Andy.
It was very nice
love
to see
you,
you.
buddy.
Bye, Andy.
I miss
All
you. Mwah.
See you guys.
Great to see you.
Andy Fark has left the group.
Oh my
Very nice.
By the way, I was going to say, Amy, most people are like 6 degrees of separation, but you have like 1 degree of separation with like.
It's very funny because.
So I'm super impressed.
Thank you. No, it's really funny because Kate had not attended a convention with me until Vegas last year, and where people are coming through her book line because we did a book signing, a creation set up for her on Sunday morning, and it was funny. She goes, "Do you know everybody?" And I was like, "Well, I've been coming to Vegas for about 10 years now, so I know a lot of people." But yes, I am big on the networking and big on the connection, so I appreciate you saying that.
Okay, so Dan, I'll bring on Amy Lynn Davis, but also Nick Jones put his hand up. So didn't know if Nick had something pressing to say too.
How can we bring 2 more on?
Sure, if that's okay with you. I'll bring on.
Coming on.
It's a party.
What you're doing with your quarantine time, Walt?
Yeah,
since you're not watching Star Trek.
Yeah, I just.
It's me again.
Well, so we only have 16 minutes, so I'm not gonna, steal the spotlight. But yeah, so I've just been playing guitar a lot. I've been doing a lot of work for some of my clients. And that's basically it. I don't have it here, but
and helping us out.
Yeah,
big help for Gaze in Space.
But I'm also just for a couple of weeks. I'm on crutches because I have tendonitis in my right Achilles tendon from running too much. I was trying to train for a marathon. And I think I pushed it. Well, because like when you're in quarantine, there's nothing to do. So I just have 10 hours a day to run. And so I just out of boredom, I think I just probably took
that's what I do with all of my hours.
I've been running.
These hours, I might as well run.
Well, there's nothing to do.
Running.
So so I mean, really, it's me just in pain, trying to rehab, and then just playing piano, playing guitar. And doing some like AV work for people.
Elle, I can't hear you say that again.
Yes,
he needs to watch DS9 while he works out so he can suffer with Miles O'Brien.
Exactly.
Hang on, Walt, did you just say you also play the piano and guitar?
Yeah, I've...
Okay, no, that's too good. It's too good. That's too much good in you, and like, I can only take so much.
So is Walt single? Is that what we're saying? Walt
he can become more attractive.
He is single for anyone out there. I am. Yes, I am.
Is he batting for the gays in space team, or is he batting for the ladies?
I'm sorry, Walt. This has now become a dating game. And,
oh, great! Wait, I'm trying to see if I can get it out here.
There you go. See, you have a fan club.
Let's see if I can get it. Here we go. This is my baby right here.
Oh my gosh!
Wow. Oh, beautiful.
There we go.
My 88 key piano, and
that's awesome. Are the keys? Are they weighted? The keys weighted?
So
that's legit then.
Just to let everyone know how I originally met Walt, we were working in a community workshop in Philadelphia called Hive 76, and Walt's first project was breaking open a keyboard and rewiring the circuitry to put like LEDs or custom sounds to it and stuff like that. And that was your first, he didn't know any electronics and that, and very diligently was opening up his books, and that's kind of where our friendship blossomed from there. But yeah, very kind of a jack of all trades guy. Especially, very good at musician too.
Oh, yeah. The friendship also blossomed because of a little bit of Rich's crush, the straight crush, a little bit that caused it. All right, we're moving on now. We just brought in Amy Lynn and Nick. Amy Lynn, how are you? Doodles, what's going on?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
We are great. It's great to see you. Welcome back.
Welcome back to my little iPad.
Thank you. Did you have a question for the two remaining boys from 5-Year Mission who are not currently incarcerated?
Is that real?
Are you visiting them?
No, that's not real. I was picking up on a John Billingsley joke.
No. They're just joking because they're out in the woods and all that.
Well, I was going to ask if they were visiting who were in jail, but okay. Let's see. Yeah, I do have a question about 5-Year Mission. So somebody was saying it's on Amazon. How many CDs do you have? I mean, how many have you made, I should say? 4?
We have 6, actually.
Oh, I thought you only had 4.
Yeah, we have years 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have an EP for the Tribble episode, and we have it started out as an EP. It turned into full length for Spock's Brain. So we have 6 albums.
That was the first I've ever heard what you played today, the video today, and I really liked it a lot.
A good place to get a nice sampling is YouTube. We have a YouTube channel and a ton of videos up there.
Cool. Yeah, I want to do that, and I want to get the CDs, and then I want to someday see everybody at all those places, but I don't know if I'll be able to, but I hope that I do someday. It's always good to have hope. So that's what I'll do.
Absolutely. And
I've seen Amy before too, and she's always super nice on the chats I've seen her on.
Oh, thank you very much. I don't know if I try. It's just how I am, but I don't want to say that I'm nice and be like conceited, but
yes, I'm nice.
Amy Lynn, Doodles, allow me. Amy Lynn is absolutely adorable and genuine and super sweet, and always adds just this kind of like ray of positivity to the chats and stuff. So you don't have to say it. I'll say it for you.
Don't cry.
Because it's very true. Whenever we see you, we're like, yay! So
I almost thought I wasn't gonna get to see this today, and I was freaked out. But then we got it worked out. So it's good. I was really like, okay, now I'm gonna cry again. But anyway, I'm really glad. And are those keychains and magnets on your on the gift page? From the
No, they've just been like giveaways that we've used. Although anyone who has in the past purchased a Rainbow Tribble also gets the keychain.
Oh, okay. I will tell you why. Hold on, I want to show you something.
Okay, and also, by the way, Amy Lynn, just like you did today, if there's ever a problem and you can't get in, like, we will send you the link. You're good. We got you. So you just let us know, okay? Don't worry. Okay. Whenever we do these, if you want to be here, we're going to make sure you're here, okay?
Okay. Thank you. This is my refrigerator.
Make sure she gets a keychain because I'll do it.
And this is my refrigerator. Oh, magnets.
Oh, wow.
Magnet. Whatever she
can
wants.
add the gaze in space.
To embarrass myself,
yeah,
I'll do it.
I'm going to take out the Pepsi one because they're bothering me. So.
Because they're bothering you.
Yeah, because, you know, I found out that they're not very liberal. So
I found that out too.
Dude, I'm never going to get a job.
So they're bothering me now. And then I have a few more down here. They're not as neatly placed. But
so much better than mine.
But that's the basic thing. And someday I'll show you some of my art that has kind of spacey.
What are the dogs? I really like the dogs. What are the dogs? Are they in outfits?
Oh, they're the Wegman dolls. You know, Wegman dogs, William Wegman. He's a photographer, and they're Weimaraners in outfits.
So
oh my God, they're so cute.
I feel like Andy would have appreciated that with his many puppers.
Yeah. And then I later got this Marilyn, and so she said, but I definitely need Gaze in Space.
We are going to send it to you.
There's my Keith Haring.
Yeah, if you need, like, I'll cover postage or whatever, like, if you guys, like, want an extra donation.
Well, actually, hang on. We have one remaining trivia video that we didn't have time to play while Picardo was here. So, if you're willing to risk it, because you're not going to have Picardo as a backup or you're going to do just fine. We could
go Rocket.
My backup. Can I tap into Mr. Debbie for help?
Yes. Yes. You can absolutely phone a friend.
For help.
All right. Hey, Rich, let's play the second, actually the third trivia question.
Oh God, I hope it's not DS9. I suck at that shit.
It is not. No, it's a Picardo. It's a Picardo.
Oh, good. You're so good at voicing it.
If it makes you feel better, I suck at DS9 too. So.
You Walt.
I'm pretty good at it.
I just found out what it was 24 hours ago. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'll help too.
It's your bag. You gotta help out.
Yeah. Here we go. I put on my glasses. Woo,
I'm so blind. I need them.
Okay, here we go.
Right. Come on. Wake up. Oh, take it easy. Stay calm. You are all right. Now listen to me. Look at me. You're going to be fine. I need you to do as I say. Alyssa, is the EMH program still online? It should be. Take it easy. That's it. That's a girl. I swore I'd never use one of these. Computer, activate the EMH program.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
20 Borg are about to break through that door. We need time to get out of here. Create a diversion.
This isn't part of my program. I'm a doctor, not a doorstop.
Well, do a dance. Tell a story. I don't care. Just give us a few seconds.
According to Starfleet medical research, Borg implants can cause severe skin irritations. Perhaps you'd like an analgesic cream?
Okay, here's the question. Marguerite, are you ready? All right, here's the question. Dr. Crusher suggests a couple of things that the EMH could do to stall the Borg. Just give me one.
Tell stories.
Tell stories, yeah.
I think you might have given me both simultaneously. So that means that we double what you guys have won.
Yay! Great.
Hooray for everyone.
Yay!
Yay!
I love that scene. That's a great scene.
Oh gosh, I think I only saw that when that movie first came out. We're actually working through the movies because my partner's never seen any of the movies. And it was great. There's this weird meme going around about the whale movie and how nobody had seen it. And they're like, I guess Billingsley already said, what the fuck? What the fuck? Wait, is this Saving Whales? Holy shit, this movie's amazing.
Yes, I've seen it. Yeah,
that was definitely my partner's response to watching it with
What is this nonsense? And then they're like, never mind, it's amazing.
gonna get it.
To be fair, since they've seen all of the TV shows, so side note, sorry taxpayers, the government allows you to watch, if you work with the government, you can watch news channels, which definitely includes the BBC, and BBC America. So it just airs old Star Trek. So my partners seem like, oh, contract. Me too. But I work at a space agency, so it was dumb there. This was years ago, so I was like, wait, you've never seen any of the movies then? So we were watching all of them. So admittedly, they had just seen Search for Spock. So I was like, believe me, it's gonna be better than Star Trek 3. It can't be worse.
The evens are great.
You just gotta keep watching.
Although we both realized we had deleted the 5th movie so hard that after we watched it again, we watched it a week ago, we kept referring to it as Undiscovered Country.
Nick should ask.
Okay.
Nick should
yes,
ask.
we have
and then...
3 minutes left. Nick,
fire
out your question, my friend.
Crap! I had something, but then we went off on.
You forgot your question.
Give me a second. I think I could remember.
All right.
So, for 5-year mission, you guys you pull a lot of inspiration from stuff. I've recently found an album on YouTube that's like from the 60s, 70s, I don't know, and it's like space themed. I don't know the actual name of the album, but it's like one of the songs on it is called Carmen Miranda's Ghost.
Sounds hardcore. Continue.
Have you found any weird sci-fi stuff because it's about Carmen Miranda's ghost haunting a space station?
Someone was very high when they wrote that album.
And it's from the 60s or 70s or even 80s.
Definitely high.
Probably.
We come across some pretty interesting stuff. Not only sci-fi, but just I guess nerd inspired kind of music. So we've heard a lot of things, and we meet a lot of bands at conventions that do that kind of thing, and some of it's really good and some of it is interesting. Mike, is your sound working, Mike?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Oh, you can hear me.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yay.
One band that I really like that has a lot of great songs is called Ookla the Mock. They've been around since the 90s, and they have a lot of Star Trek and comic book theme songs. Definitely check out their music. They were an inspiration for me to start 5-year mission.
What about that song Banned from Argo? Ever hear that one? It's literally Star Trek theme, so.
I haven't heard that one.
No, I don't think so.
Ooh, something to add to the list.
60 seconds to go. I just want to thank everybody so much for joining us, for being here. 5-year mission, you guys, if we loved you anymore, we'd adopt you. So I'm just going to say
there you go.
It's also, I made this point earlier.
I think Debbie's Debbie's first in line to adopt them, Rich, or Dan.
That's true. That's true. Debbie, you have first dibs.
But before you go, people have been asking about that logo and t-shirts, and they're bugging me online right now, and they want to know if you guys have the t-shirts on your website still.
Yeah, so here's the t-shirt right there.
Cool.
Very
it's
nice.
Just like the logo. We do have those, and they're on our website. If you, I'm pretty sure they're on the website, but yeah, just go to 5yearmission.net and you can buy our albums. You can also find our albums on YouTube and Amazon.
Okay, 5yearmission.net.
And iTunes. But yeah, the t-shirts you can only get through us. So just go to our website and you can find those, and we still have them.
And again, just the absolute epitome of an ally. 5-year mission. Thank you for being with Gays in Space.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting Gays in Space. And your stuff is amazing. That can't be said more often. And once again, Chris, keep singing those notes, man, and I'm yours if you want me. I'm just throwing that out there for a second time.
I'll ask my wife.
He is a handsome man. He is a handsome man.
There's Rich.
Thank you all again so much for being with us. We are in the midst of planning the next things that Gaze in Space is going to be doing. I can tell you that Denise Crosby is going to be returning with us. We're not sure what week it's going to be. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. We'll let you know. And for anyone who is in Vegas with us, Aurelio Voltaire, the guy who created the CD Bitrektual, will also be here with us.
That's awesome.
You know, things keep moving
Is that
along.
just like Voltaire, or is this somebody else?
Voltaire is, if you've ever been to Dragon Con, I think he's kind of an institution. It's that guy, yeah.
Oh yeah, oh cool.
I literally sat next to him at a Discovery panel in New York City, and I had no clue who he was. And I asked him, I said hi, because we were very close together. They like packed us in, and he was like, "Oh, I do conventions," and I'm like, "Sure you do, weird old guy." and then I saw him in Vegas, literally on stage at Gaze in Space, and I screamed because I was super like, "Oh yes, okay." To that guy.
You were like, "Oh no, he is somebody who does conventions."
Yes.
My bad.
So it was he was fully kitted out, you know, in his like excellent attire, and I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Awesome. And for anybody who's been waiting for the video from our disco night, my apologies. I'm editing that one, and we still have yet to upgrade our computers here. So these tend to run long, as everyone sees. So to edit a 3-hour video from 2 cameras, I've had to break it into 30-minute segments because the computer can't handle any more than that. So my apologies, we will upgrade our computers soon and stuff will happen faster, but it will be going up soon. And this will be going up for free on our Facebook page sometime next week. So thank you all so much for joining us.
Money for your fundraising drives? Have you been generating enough? Or like, I don't mind because I'm shameless and I'm not the person running this. So I don't mind, like, you know, shilling for you. Do you guys need to generate more income? Have you gotten close? Some of the times you'll talk about needing to upgrade your servers, but then you guys do this great, you know, outreach for the LGBT youth having, you know, homelessness problems and, you know, food, you know, necessity problems. I think it's great that you prioritize that. Are you meeting your goals, or are you still struggling to meet that?
Why don't you come back a week from now?
Can I?
Oh yeah.
Again, Elle, you asked the greatest questions. Thank you.
Well, you should get in touch with all of us independently too, especially if that's something you're passionate about promoting.
I'm happy to do that. I'm actually a harbor ambassador for Baltimore in my personal time when I'm not an engineer, because I just can't engineer 24/7. And it's something actually she volunteers with me to do. We also do planting trees in Baltimore, so that way it'll put shade cover, because not everybody can have air conditioning, and being hot makes you more miserable and it makes it harder to learn and all kinds of other stuff. So I would happily talk to you guys more, so that I'm not just annoyingly promoting your own program on your time.
No, not at all. In fact, it's again, I thank you for asking that, because it's not something I want to be like, hey everybody, so here are our financial problems. But what we've done is that, because this is unplanned. We didn't think right now we'd be doing virtual events. So who knew? So we've been kind of learning as we go. And in the very beginning, as we were doing it, initially there wasn't even the dollar, because we didn't realize we needed to have that for the security purposes. Because again, learning as we go. And then we thought, oh, well, this is great. We can raise money so that we can, get our systems up and do even more things, better things. But then, everything happened with George Floyd and in our country, and it just terrified us, quite frankly, Rich and I both, 100%. To the point where we said, okay, you know what? It is not going to be much, because it isn't. But every time we do one of these things, it would be nice if we could raise enough money to upgrade our systems. But you know what would be even nicer? Is if we could help in some way, even if it's a very modest amount, a very small way, to causes that are truly trying to fix the problems of today. So from that moment on, every event we've done, we've donated more than half, 60%, 70% sometimes, of what comes in, just because, yes, I want to do these better, and I think doing them is very important. But when it comes time to make that donation, I'm just like, you know what? No, they need it. They need it. So that's a very long answer.
I worked in the nonprofit sector for 15 years, and that is a big choice.
I can tell you have that. You have that, like, I'm here, I'm ready to organize, I'm good.
And it's also not even organizing, it's also just recognizing that before you even put us on live. Actually, it's really funny. It's like, you know what? I bet you we're going to be put on live on. I'm going to tell you all who's watching, like, I'm not wearing a bra. You don't need to wear bras or pants. I am wearing pants. But, like, and I was like, I know we're going to get put live tonight and something important is going to happen. Like, fuck me. It's so meaningful because as soon as you said you were making a donation, I hollered to my partner. I'm like, they're donating the money we donated tonight. And they're not even using it for themselves. And what was really funny was then I could tell from the end. I have a really good eidetic memory for stuff. I can tell from the angle of your room, I know you can see Rich. And I was like, they're looking at each other while they do this. And it's such an important thing that you could, and it wouldn't even be greedy, that you could use this to further your mission. But the first thing you thought about were LGBT people in LA. And I think you're based out of New York, so I think you mentioned that before.
Right.
Who told me they'd met you. Yeah. And I think that that is such a big deal. Mm-hmm. Willing to both.
I think you just made Dan's like whole month just now.
Well, more to the point, I hope we can connect offline because while that's not, it's what I do in my free time. I want to be, I don't know if I can help, but I hope that other people will be seeing what you're doing and knowing that not only are you making a big deal for them at home when they couldn't participate, but you're making such a huge deal in LA and you don't live there, or any other charities. So I know you've done other charities besides John's, but John loves to tell everybody, and I love his charities. He's amazing. So that's not even meant to be horrible. I meant that in the best way. Some of the other actors I think are unwilling to too hard, but I know you've made donations to charities that matter to them too, and that's tough to balance your own organization with other organizations, and I think that's wonderful.
It is really, it is the whole concept of put on your own mask before you try to help someone else put on theirs. And that's what Gaze in Space has had to do for the first 4 years, because, you know, doing these events, I mean, Zoom is expensive and, you know, the tech is expensive, but we're not flying. We're not having to pay for a hotel. We're not doing any of those things that are part of all of the in real life events that we do. So putting these events on is suddenly affordable for us. For the first, 4 years, every time we did an event, Rich and I, and they're empty pockets to begin with, they became emptier. And so all we could do was hope and pray that eventually we would break even. Like, that was really the goal. And doing these events now has made it possible for us to, again, costs are cut, so it's not a ton of money from us to make these happen, which is why the second that was clear, I thought, no, we have to, I will never be wealthy. Can I just say that? Because the second I have any money, Rich will attest to this, the second he has any money, I end up giving it somewhere. Like,
Turn your face off, Rich. I wanted to see your love in your face. Don't turn it off.
Yeah. But,
and just, and I have to add to that because when I first started getting into doing panels and doing conventions and writing and all that, I thought, you think to yourself, oh, these are big studios, these are big properties, where's all the money for people who are making all this content, especially when Star Trek had no new Star Trek. And, the fans were the one who's kept it going between the end of Enterprise and, the beginning of Discovery. And I thought to myself, well, no one here is doing this because they want to get rich. They're all doing it because they love Star Trek and they love each other and they want to support each other's creative endeavors. Like if you go to shore leave, none of those people are swimming in it. It's just a great community. And that's the reason why, I do these events and I support, Dan and I'm a big proponent of saying, for creators and writers, don't just do stuff for the exposure, because you can't eat off of exposure. But I've done so many things off of just exposure because I want to.
I have done a couple feature films just for the exposure.
Yeah. So and it's hard to break into an industry, you know, like this with so many, like you said, so many different charitable components, especially that all the actors advocate for something different. So I'm very grateful that Dan has included me and continues to put these events on. And I love attending the parties and I love doing the fun stuff in Vegas and all that. But this is great because, like you said, we're not paying to go to a hotel. We're not paying to leave our house. We can just enjoy. So I just want to add my 2 cents.
And I think it's great because I don't think I would have gotten to meet Amy and Debbie and Nick in the same place pretty much ever. And I think it's wonderful to see. They're having such a good time. I've been watching them react to everybody's faces, and they just look so delighted. And I think that that's wonderful.
Well, you should connect with me on social too. Connect with me on my social too, and we'll chat.
Definitely. My last name's Porcelli, and her last name's Nadler. So we'll like.
I will look for you. Yeah, I'm at Amy Imhoff 1701 on
awesome.
my.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you again.
we gotta wrap
Rich,
it.
Rich, I tried so hard, man, for the hard out. It's 11:12. I still think that's better than I normally do.
Yes.
Love you guys.
Who had
Thank you all
11
so much.
Come to the after party
on
in
their bingo
Discord.
board?
Discord
you
after
know
party.
what I say? May you dream of rainbows that take you to space.
Aw.
Thank you, Amy Doodles. Thank you.
You're
we will
welcome.
see you all again very soon. 5-year mission. We love you guys. We hope it gets extended to 10 years. Make that happen, man. Make that happen. We'll see you all
Thanks,
soon.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.